All right, listen to that. Look at that. I was a little late. So normally, once again, you guys are usually seeing Dale's face here to start off the show on the comic menu, but this guy has fatherly duties. That's right. He's watching his kids play the good old baseball, so he doesn't want to miss any part of that kids growing up. I don't blame him. They grew up so fast. So, but he will join us on the second half of the show. And that's when we're going to talk about some X-Men 97. We're going to geek out about some trailers and movies and all the shit that we nerds really geek out about. But first, we have this guy. I don't know. I'm going to ask him. I don't know if it's Marveled comics or if it's Marvel DC comics. I like what he did there. What a good guy. But before I bring in Jordy, I bring in this guy right here. He's my co-host,
Hey, there
James.
I am.
Comic
I
Uprising.
keep
He's
showing up.
he's he's filling in for Dell, and while Dell's away on family business. But here we go. We're gonna bring in. Here he is. Look at that, the man of the hour.
Hey,
Hey,
how you guys doing?
There he is. Jordy
fantastic,
so what
fantastic.
is it, Jordy? Is it Marvel, DC, or Marveled Comics? What is it?
It's Marveled Comics, but if you guys see the logo, I did like the Marvel red, DC blue. It's kind of like the whole theme there, So
Okay.
yeah,
Gotcha.
He's still
Um,
messing with you.
we are waiting for Frank from Atlas and Ish from Comic Sense are going to jump on, and they're fashionably late. They like to be late to the show. It's just the way it is. There's some bougie mofo's on both of those guys. So make sure if you're jumping on, go ahead and share out and all that stuff. And we're gonna talk about scammers.
Oh,
Oh,
alrighty.
mercy. Whenever we talk about this show, it is always a barn burner, right? It is it gets people blood flowing and it gets them all worked up and they just hate scammers. Now, we all know this character. He's been in the Facebook business, in the Facebook groups for a very long time. His name is Akshay, or as we like to call him, Ashtray. He likes to go as Ash. But if you guys know him, he also has 45,000 different aliases. And my buddy Jordy here did a transaction with him, and you guys might have seen it on the IG side where Jordy kind of put up something that said, hey, I think I got scammed almost close to $6,000. Now we talked about it. If this was, $100, sometimes that's the way it happens. You kind of look the other way and said, I'll just eat it or I'll just get the book back or whatever it is. 6K is that's a lot of dark hawks. All right. That's a lot of gold foiled Turok, And so I tell you what, we're going to let Jordy, and for you guys in the comments, go ahead and ask away with questions. I'll talk about Ashkay. So there's been a new development that Jordy hit me up with this afternoon. So Jordy, why don't you go ahead and tell us, first of all, what the book is and how everything's entailed, and then you could update us with the latest.
absolutely. So basically, this all began before my last live sale. I did a preview, and one of the accounts that followed me, the account name was Ken Loves Comics. They reached out with me and the guy who hosts me in a group. We had a group chat going. He's like, if we could settle on a price and we agree to it, can I just make you the offer during the claim sale? And we're like, yeah, that's fine, no problem. We agreed to $9,650 for an ASM1 and a 4.0. I know what you guys are thinking. That's crazy. I give good deals. I can't, it's how I roll. So Ken Loves Comics made the offer during the claim sale. I accepted it. Perfect. There's a new buyer. I require 25% down, non-refundable for new buyers, just provides protection for me. That was sent within the allotted time frame. When I received the payment, I received a screenshot saying the payment came from Silver Age Comics UK. I instantly advised Ken Loves Comics. I'm like, how do you know this person? Like he's been called out. Yada yada yada. Are you sure that this is legitimate? And everything else. And he's like, yeah, he's a buddy of mine who owes me money, and he's just very misunderstood and all this. And I'm like, the payment's here. If you want, whoever you choose to be friends with, that's solely everyone's discretion. I don't. It doesn't matter to me. So basically, I was cool that at that point. I then received a payment for $56.50. Let's just say 5 days later. I don't have the exact times, like the exact days in front of me without being in my PayPal account. But the second payment was sent. Great. The final $1,000 payment was then sent a couple days after that. And the last Tuesday night, everything was good. Everything was clear. I got the book packaged up that afternoon and shipped it via overnight USPS. However, I did not send that Ken Loves Comics account tracking at that point. I got busy that night. I plan on sending the tracking info first thing in the morning and being like, hey, I got your book shipped overnight. It'll be arriving today, expected today, whatever it may be. I was going to do that until I checked my emails. And I got an email from PayPal stating that there was a claim filed on that $56.50 payment. The funds were taken, reversed out of my account. And at that point, I instantly reached out to the Ken Loves Comics account and was like, you have to make this right. You trusted this person. You have to make it right immediately. They said that they instantly got on the phone with Silver Age Comics UK, and that the payment would be resent to me, which the payment was indeed resent to me at that moment. So the payment was in my account at that moment. He had Silver Age Comics UK resend me the payment. My biggest issue from this point, I called PayPal immediately as well, and I want to know what happened. And they said that a claim was filed on that payment. So I was instantly led to believe that he filed the claim. He got the money reversed. Maybe he just didn't think I would see it. Maybe he thought I already shipped it. I don't know. And like I said, given the reputation, this is immediately what I thought. I was under no other impression to believe that there was something else going on at this point. As the time unfolded, as we talked to Ken more, I am 100% certain that's another alias of Silver Age Comics UK. From there, I've just been trying to I intercepted the book Wednesday, right after I said, before I even reached out, the first thing I did was intercept the package, because whoever I shipped it to, I didn't know if that was one of his buddies who was going to ship it to him. I didn't know what was going on. So the first thing I did was put an intercept on that package. I was notified over the weekend that the intercept did go through successfully, and I've been tracking it every day since. It is currently still at the Chicago post office. I've gone to my local branches. They sent emails to the Chicago office. It's basically just a waiting game at this point. Once the book is back in my possession, I advised him that I will refund all payments that he sent, and I just don't want to deal with the whole situation anymore.
So what did he do on his end? I kind of missed the beginning. Like, what did he do?
So one of the biggest payment that was sent to me for $5,650 was there was basically a claim that was filed against it. According to PayPal, when I called immediately, there's a claim filed against that payment, which reversed that out of my account. I already withdrew the money from my PayPal, so my PayPal was negative $5,650 at the time. And that's why I was led to believe that he was scamming me. And maybe he just didn't think I would get alerted that fast, or maybe he thought I already shipped the book.
Was this an eBay transaction?
Oh, no.
It was not. It was
Okay.
it was an Instagram live sale buy. So the money was also sent PayPal, family, and friends. I only take fee-free payments no matter what.
Ish, excuse me, Jordan. Ish, you've heard of Ashkay
On
Facebook?
Well, because I have some really, really, really dope associates in the comic community attached to the Comic Community and other sites that put these things on blast, and I pay attention. So,
So you do. Okay, so
Yes.
that's exactly who we're talking about. He's the man.
Yes.
He's Ashtray / Ken Loves Comics. Same guy. All right, go ahead, Joe.
Okay, so moving forward, since he's insisted, this is not my fault. This is the bank's fault. The banks flagged this, so today again, he's been just telling me every day, I sent you, and then the recent thing was I sent you an e-check, and that's why this happened. And I'm like, you did not send me an e-check. I'm like, because if you get sent an e-check via PayPal alerts you that an e-check was sent. And it usually takes some days for the funds to clear. It was not sent via e-check. The funds cleared in my account immediately when they were sent. So that was also not the case. I called PayPal again today to verify this specifically, and they verified that an e-check was not sent. I did, however, ask them, I'm like, is there any way or any chance that his banking institution could have red flagged something which caused this to happen. And they did say yes. So here's kind of what I'm thinking at this. Is there a small chance that this got red flagged by his banking institution? Yes. At the same time, my concerns are, he's been dealing with books of this caliber all the time. These are the books that he deals in.
Mm-hmm.
So why would a $5,650 payment get red flagged just now of all times?
That's right.
And not any of these other times? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it's not like he sent me $50,000. He sent me $5,000, which is a pretty typical amount for these books of this caliber that he's regularly selling, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make sense. I mean, is it possible? Sure.
So you would think that a bank eventually knows the algorithm, right? So if this individual is constantly being wired 6, 8, 5, 4, whatever, and they're like, oh, okay, this is his commerce, right? This is what he deals with. So we're used to seeing big numbers being crossed back and forth. I'm not saying playing devil's advocate. Let's just say dumbass had his account red flagged many times before. But we wouldn't know about it. But it is kind of odd that a guy who's been doing this and he's been dealing with these books since I've been hearing about him since 2019, being in the groups, or 2020.
Yeah, Ish, how long have you heard about Ash here?
A week.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
because the moment I stepped into IG World, Silver Age was well known already as being Ash.
So I have a question
deal.
though, because it's really interesting, right? Because you said that, and then he also corroborated it before he even said it, right? So this guy is pretty much infamous in the Instagram world of. See, I haven't purchased. I haven't purchased any comics through Instagram. The only time I did, Caesar is very helpful when Giant Size X-Men, which is the only time that I was looking to purchase something, and I was looking for every avenue, but I just haven't purchased anything like big ticket Instagram, generally eBay or Facebook or in person or what have you. So some of these things I'm learning. So my question though is, what was the book? I wasn't on.
It was an Amazing Spider-Man #1 and a 4.0, and I sold it to the Ken Loves Comics account for $9,650. I had no idea who Ken Loves Comics was. So like this whole thing kind of it was just like an unfortunate bunch of circumstances on my end. Like I had no intention on doing business with him personally. Like, I mean, just from what I've heard prior, I just didn't. I mean, there have been multiple reputable IG comic accounts that have gone public with this. And when they did, I also blocked him at the same time. I've done 2 other deals prior to this. I've had no actual issues, but he was like, it was like, he would complain that with certain little things, but there were no actual issues before now. But once he was called out publicly, that's when I just decided to block him too. Because I didn't even know about a lot of what was going on until some of these other accounts made it public to my knowledge.
Well, there's definitely a snowball effect because again, there are some people that I consider to be reputable in this community. So when they talk, I pay attention to them. So I'm always paying attention to these posts and these threads. And I saw a few threads about him recently before Caesar contacted me and mentioned that we were going to be talking about. It was interesting because I'd seen it and I saw a ton of reputable names on those threads echoing similar sentiments about this person, specifically this person, and that this person has it seems like he's not just a single person, right? Like he has several different identities and or people affiliated with him looking to help him accomplish what it is he accomplished. But just before, I just want to get a read on exactly what you're saying. So you were going to sell him an Amazing Spider-Man #1.
You did.
You did sell him an Amazing Spider-Man #1, and
I sold it to the Ken Loves Comics account. That's who I had no idea who that account was. I was under the assumption it was just a new buyer, which is pretty common on the Instagram world. Like new accounts find you every day. I had no reason to believe that it was anything malicious at that point when I sold him the book.
So he paid you half of the money.
Ash acts like a broker. That's the easiest way to look at it. He goes and buys a book for somebody else. he just collects a fee in the middle of that, and he kind of. But what the problem is he's extremely shady about it. He does this. He'll drop some money in and then totally not send the or exactly what's happening with Jordy has happened before.
So what did he put half of the money up? Sounds
So
like.
basically, yeah. Let me just go back again because I know you kind of jumped in a little bit after I already said a lot of these things.
Yeah. And I'm curious about where that second payment is, because you said something about the second payment. So as you recount it, what happened with that second payment of the 5?
Sure. So
Yeah.
like right after the sale, right after I accepted the offer, a few days later I received the first 25% down. That was no issue at all. It came as like 20, I don't know, 25. Let's just say 20. I don't, like I said, I don't have my PayPal account. Let's say 2,500 for example.
Mm-hmm.
Got that in, no problem. It came from Silver Age Comics UK. Ken claimed that his Silver Age Comics was his buddy, and he owed him money. And I'm like, that's a little odd, but it is what it is. Whatever. After that, let's just say 5 days later, without having an exact timeline, I received the second payment of the $5,650. That also cleared my account at that time with no problem. Again, some days later, I got the final $1,000 payment. Everything was paid in full at that point. Even at the last Tuesday, everything was paid in full. And to the Tuesday afternoon is when I overnight shipped the book to the name given to me. This guy's name, I'm not going to give us all his information. His name is Sam, though, who is a legitimate person. I didn't know that at the time. And again, I didn't send tracking on Tuesday because I got caught up that whole night. I was going to send tracking the next morning and be like, hey, the book arrived today, overnighted it for you, given what it was, expected today. But I got notified from PayPal prior stating a claim was filed against that payment, and it was reversed out of my account. I left my PayPal account negative $5,650. So that was the issue. And I immediately intercepted the package Wednesday morning when I saw this. I immediately notified Ken Loves Comics, who's also another. I didn't know that it was another Ashkay account at that point. Yeah. And then he had, well, this is kind of confusing because I'm referring to two different, but it's the same person. But I didn't know at the time. So I told Ken, I'm like, figure this out right now. So he got Ashkay to send the payment immediately back, which he did. So the payment, it is and was still in my account effective Wednesday morning. Like, he did resend the payment. I don't know if he got spooked because I'm like, I'm like, if I get, screwed out of this, I'm pressing charges. I will go to the ends of the earth to, like, this is a criminal act. I will press charges, whatever. Again, like I was saying, I don't know if this was intentional. Is there a small chance that he could be cleared of this one thing? I suppose there is. You know what I mean?
Why did he reverse it?
Maybe he got scared. Maybe
did he say anything? Did he give you an explanation?
No. He's thinking, as we mentioned, he's saying it wasn't me. It must have been the bank that flagged it. Let me find out.
Yeah. So I mean, at the time, like I said, if this was any other account with like any kind of reputation, I would have given them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, but banks don't work that way, right? So a bank will flag it. Your credit card will flag it. Your credit card will stop it. It takes 5 minutes to tell your bank, no, I did that, and clear it. Literally, I've had it happen where I got last year the giant size X-Men I was buying a 9.0 signed off eBay, and the guy tried to scam it, didn't work, but I paid him $5,900, and my credit card company stopped it, and I had to tell them. It took 5 minutes, literally. Tell them, hey,
or whatever. Yeah,
we're good, and clears.
But are all banks the same? Because he's in London, he's in the UK. So does the banks, I'm assuming, also do the same thing where they automatically hit your phone and say, "Is this you?" Right?
Yeah, it's for your protection.
For your protection, is this you? Yes, that's me, right?
Because it's your funds, right? The bank can't stop you from spending your money.
Well, they
just want to protect you so that someone else isn't stealing your identity and spending your money.
But this is what we talked about earlier, that if Ashtray's been doing this for years, dealing with these big books, that you would think that the bank eventually will say, well, we get it, we'll see it. And I'm pretty sure if he does get red flag before, he does the same thing. Yes, it's me, and hits okay. Now, let's just say, this is the part where I'm going with, he's a piece of shit. Because Jordy, I told Jordy, why is it that the minute And I do mean the minute Jordy reached out to him and said, hey, what's going on? That very moment he goes, oh shit, hold on. Let me call the bank. Let me go to the bank. Let me get this taken care of. And then he could reach out to Jordy and said, I don't know what's going on. I tried. Here's the paperwork. Here's the stuff. Here's all the information to show you that I am not a POS, that the bank really did flag it. Here you go. But instead, he kind of just waited for Jordy to say, all right, you better show me some proof that it was the bank that red flagged it. Oh, okay, I will. So
it's a perfect observation, because again, the bank would have notified him right away.
And the other thing is, you may not know, he is notorious, and this is what we found out. This is what I found out. He's notorious for buying books and selling them before he has the book.
So if you put that on the screen, that's my accountant.
Which one?
The last. She's a vice president in finance at a bank.
Oh, Belinda.
Yes.
Okay, so here you go, Jordy. So I'm assuming
they wouldn't even release the funds.
The bank will stop it before the funds are even released, not released, and then
take it back.
No kid. Okay.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Belinda, and thank you, Ish, for bringing her on. I tell you what,
she watches, so she just came.
Oh, that's great. So I will welcome on Belinda. So this is the thing. The guy who so when Jordy sold this book, I'm going to give the cliff notes, Jordy, if you don't mind.
No, sure. Okay. Yeah.
So Jordy basically sold, everyone's just jumping in. So my good friend here, Jordy, he sold an ASM 1 4.0 big book for a lot of money. He sold it to a new account called Ken Loves Comics. And kind of find out that Ashtray, as we all know him, is involved. Kind of find out that Ken Loves Comics is Ashtray. Okay, what we call him Ashtray, but it's Ashkay, I believe.
The Scamdinavian.
The Scamdinavian. And the thing is that Jordy was going to mail the book to a whole different person who is an actual person. Okay? He's, once again, Ashtray is doing that thing. He's selling a book before he even owns it. And then he just tells whoever he bought it from, hey, just send it over to Caesar, because he's the one who just bought it from me, and who knows, he probably made a profit, right, or broke, or whatever he did. If the guy was not such a piece of shit, and this is the first time we ever heard of this, then there might be that thing where Jordy would be like, oh, well, maybe
benefit of the doubt,
maybe,
yeah.
But because it is the wolf in sheep's clothing, and because he speaks with an English accent, which of course,
and it's the PayPal thing. It's the biggest loophole in selling these books that these broker guys that scam people do. They can take the money back after 3 to 5 days or some crazy number.
And so that's the thing, right? He actually had to alert somebody of something. He actually had to say, hey, I'm not receiving this, or this person didn't uphold their end of the bargain. Don't release my funds.
And that's a click of the button on PayPal, unfortunately, that makes it a little too easy to do this. It's happened to me.
Yeah, I mean, before your friend just chimed in, like I was, even like this afternoon, I called Caesar. I'm like, is there a possibility that maybe this was a banking issue? And I'm like, if by some chance it was, then maybe this could have been my bad for once. But after hearing that the bank wouldn't have even sent it over,
right? They're not going to send the funds without asking the questions.
It doesn't make any, it doesn't make any sense. And I told Akshay this via chat. I'm like, if you want to clear your name, I need with undeniable proof that this was 100% on the bank. Meaning, you need to video call me via IG, walking yourself into the bank, to the bank person, and having them verify that they indeed did this. If there's even 5 minutes of a lapse, I won't buy it.
Well, he could have just said, all right, I cleared it up with the bank. Here's the money.
Well, I mean, the issue isn't that the money isn't, because he did resend the payment right when I called him out, but did he send it because I'm like, I'm pressing charges. I'm like, I caught what you did, that's the biggest issue here. And that's why I went public with this, was because, I felt, and I still do feel like I was trying to get scammed by somebody here.
Right.
And if by some chance I didn't catch this, I could have potentially lost the book and the money. Like, I had no idea. I didn't know this Sam guy sent the book. I didn't know that was a real person until Frank from Atlas gave me his information. I called him on the phone. I thought it was one of his buddies and that he was going to ship the book to him. Like, I had no idea at this point.
Yeah, with that overnight delivery, right? He gets the book, withdraws the money, you're out of everything.
Yeah, and I didn't know if that's what was going on. That's why I went public with this. If I genuinely thought it was a mistake or an error, I wouldn't have put somebody on blast. But given the reputation of the account and given how I felt from this whole thing, like I said, I called PayPal and they specifically told me that a claim was filed on this payment, and you have to file the claim. But I mean, today when I called PayPal, they did tell me that the bank, it could be I'm sorry, my dog's kind of going crazy in the background here.
He doesn't like ashtray either.
They did tell me that it is possible for the bank to do these things, but now that your friend chimed in and said that it wouldn't have even gone through in the first place, I'm led to believe that this was nothing but what could be an act of
the only way that the bank would file a claim on that payment is if they were notified to do so, similar to you telling your credit card company to not.
What's up,
that's
guys?
the only way that's possible, is that they were actually notified. I was in the same situation. I'm not going to go into a long story, but same exact situation, but in reverse. I bought a book off eBay, thought it was too good to be true. 5,000. It was Giant Size X-Men #1, 9.0 signed by Stanley. I see it on there, $5,000, 5,900 with taxes. I'm like, okay, this is either someone who just needs to really get rid of this book, or it's a scam. But I'm like, you know what? You're not going to be able to scam me. I've been doing this for 40 years. So I know how to cover myself. So I contact a person, ask for more pictures. They send me more pictures. I pay them.
Yep.
But I take pictures of every single transaction. I take pictures of the book. I take pictures of him sending me the book. I take pictures of me paying him.
Yep.
I take photos of every part of this process. So he tells me he's going to overnight the book. Then he messages me. I tell him how to package it and ship it. He's like, cool, I'm going to let my wife know. He messages me and says, hey, I forgot to include the packing slip. I'm going to go ahead and mail that out to you. Right? This is where the scam comes in, because the book was supposed to come a certain day. It didn't come. We're both calling to find out where it's at. Supposedly it's sitting somewhere in a post office. And exactly what was told to you was told to me. When I called them, they told me I have to get him to call about the book. They told him he has to get me to do it. And finally, the lady just said, listen, somebody filed a claim that you can't get any information on this book. And I'm like, well, who? And she said, I can't tell you who, but who do you imagine it would be? Is what she said to me. She said, I can't say exactly who, but the reason why you're not getting information. So what I ended up getting was a packing slip in the mail, which eBay saw as the book being delivered. And then immediately I just messaged eBay because I had all of my message exchange with him. I had everything, photos of me opening up this packing slip, everything. I just messaged eBay and they just gave me my money back.
Yeah.
And he messaged me. He was pissed. And I'm like, hey man, good luck finding your book. He's like, I'm going to get my lawyer involved. And I'm thinking to myself, you're lying because it's insured. It's a $5,900 book. You insured it. Yeah, my lawyer's going to get involved and they're going to sue the post office and sue eBay. And I'm like, dude, you never sent the book. You sent me a packing slip.
Yeah, don't. It is one of those. Listen, this is where we're gonna segue. By the way, Jordy has to leave in under 30 minutes. He has a hard stop at the top of the hour. But I will say, now that Frank's here, this is the part of the community that I always talk about. It's such a large, but it's a small community because many of us know each other. And when Jordy was going through his shit and Frank chimed in, he's like, oh, those are real dudes. You know, the Sam guy's real, the other guy's real. Those are actual legit guys. I feel sorry for those guys who are probably, does that mean they're being scammed as well?
Wait, what did Jordy go through?
Well,
What did I miss? What did Jordy go through?
Oh, come on. I'm not
We got another banker on here verifying payment. If it's questionable, the bank just isn't going
Kick his ass out of here.
Yeah. So here it is. So if like Dominic said, if a payment in questionable, it would not go through. Bank we would contact you asking you to verify. Once you verify, it's sent. So basically, everyone's saying, Jordy, that Ashtray is being Ashtray.
Mhm.
And at this point, he's doing and saying he's a snake charmer, and he's doing all the things correct. He's saying everything that we want to hear.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm going to go to the bank. I'm going to call the bank. I'm going to send you some stuff. I'm going to resend you the payment. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Enough to keep you at bay so he could either squirm his way out of it.
You know what I will say about Ashtray is that there's for real scammers that you never see from, like you were saying, that you never hear from. They take the money and they're gone. You'll never see or hear from them again. What I will say about Ashtray is that he is an actual entity. We know where he lives. He has a location. If we all band together, we can go see him right now and fuck him up, and it's possible. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, a good scammer would have bought the book from you.
You know,
And then got you later. Now, a really good scammer would have bought that book from you and got you later. But this is what happens when you rob Peter to pay Paul, which is what I suspect was going on. I suspect that he had another buyer.
Yeah, that's
probably renamed.
That's how he works.
That's how he works.
He's like a scamming a consignment page where he preys on the weak. He goes to somebody who's in search of a book on Facebook or on Instagram. Hey, you're looking for an ASM1 I saw. Hey, and then he goes to Jordy. Hey, I see you're selling one for 5K. He tells the buyer, I got you one for 6K. They agree to it. They send him the payment. He sends it to Jordy. He never touches the book, never sees the book, but he makes a commission fee off of it. What happens this time, and what happens every single time, is he just gets busted. Like I said, he's not the worst one out there. I mean, I've been scammed out of 10K before, never saw the person. If not for my bank, I would have never seen that money again. Ashtray is an actual entity. He's just like the lowest level of what a consignment page should be. He's just, and there's plenty of those guys that
get
out
rid
there.
of them because there's always going to be somebody who's uninformed.
You can't.
But Ish, not only that, he has legitimately gotten people their books. So
I've gotten books from him. I've done raffles with him.
And
then
people
have received their items.
Right, exactly. So they're those people that go, I've never been fucked with. So
he's a good scammer on something. For those of us who aren't,
remember, there's a difference between a scammer and him. Scammers are the guys who call you and they're like, hey, you want to extend your car warranty, right? Sure. He's just a very shitty consignment page. I don't know I don't know if there's an exact label for what his
Ashtray
scheming shit is right now, but
it's a confidence man, right? Like he's not shady when he doesn't need to be.
Like when
he needs to be, he ain't gonna let that dollar go.
But here's the whole thing though. There's a book sitting at a fucking post office and a buyer pissed off.
I'm sorry, wait, has the buyer not received the book yet?
No. So the first thing I did Wednesday morning when I saw I opened my email, seeing the payment was reversed, the first thing I did was intercept the package to cover my own self. Right. I had no idea who Sam was at this point. I didn't know if he was a real person. I didn't know if that was one of, Ashkay's buddies. I had no idea. So the first thing I did was intercept the package.
Of course.
I didn't get actual verification that it was successful until the weekend. So the intercept was successful, and it's still being held up at the Chicago post office somewhere.
Oh my god!
Even effective today. Like I've gone to my post office, I've had them send emails to that post office. It's really just a waiting game at this point.
Okay, so go ahead, Frank. Go ahead.
So I just want to put it out there. I am not defending Ashtray at all. Like I've told everyone, he's the way he does his shit. It gives consignment pages a bad rep. What I will say is, again, like at the end of the day, I don't know how he does it or how it keeps building up to this.
So frustrating about him
time and time again.
How many fake accounts the guy uses?
Well, there he goes. There he
so
goes.
many, dude.
So why? See, that already tells me that's already a red flag as a motherfucker. When you have 10 different. Listen, let's be honest. If Ashtray would have popped up, actually, he wouldn't have popped up, right, Jordy? Because you had him blocked.
Yeah. As soon as one of the other reputable IG accounts that went public with it, that's why I just decided to block
Right.
them as well. Like
So-
I don't deal with any false or shady anything. In the
Okay,
business. I
so
only deal with it.
what's the okay? So where are we at now, Jordy? What's the end game? What's the ultimatum? Where are we at?
So basically, I was just really hoping to have the book back in my hand because, like, I mean, who knows what? I mean, the post office is liable to just be like, oh, well, I guess we'll just send it back to the original person, which I guess is kind of okay because, like, I know Sam, and I know he's a real person, but I was hoping to have it
He's a
back in
good
my
dude.
hands first before sending the refund to Ashkay. Because I told him, like, once the book's back in my hand, I'll refund the 3 payments that you sent to me via PayPal, and I just don't want to get involved with anything anymore. Like, just like I didn't want to get involved in this to begin with. It just somehow landed in my lap, unfortunately. So the sooner I can be done with this, the better, in my opinion.
So are you
It
going to hit up?
sucks.
You're
It
hitting up.
sucks because I know the buyer and I know Jordy, and I know they're both literally just A1 guys. Like they're both great guys, and they just unfortunately got caught in his freaking web of shit. You know, it's just it sucks that it landed with these 2 guys. But I mean, like I would be willing to put my own money up, my own rep up for both Jordy and Sam. The idiot in the middle is what's fucking everything up for everybody right now.
So let me ask you, who's the book supposed to go to in their hands?
It's supposed to go to Sam.
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah.
Okay, Sam.
Like
Okay.
you, like Jordy, you shipped the book to Sam,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
I have a
yes.
question. I have a question. Maybe you guys know this now. Who did Sam pay?
He paid Ashtray.
I got that, but do you know the amount now that this has all come out? Like,
No. Sam never told me exactly how much he paid Ashtray. All I
Because-
told him was like, get your money back from him. And you know what's sad is that's how he does all his business, right? That's how he
Right.
makes his fee, is that he receives all the payments. I've had clients that come to me and they're like, oh, Ashtray, like we're selling the same book apparently. They listed it with both of us, you know, with Ashtray and with myself, and then he'll accept a payment plan, but he's accepting the payments. So that
well,
means
that's
the
I'm
seller.
always trying to go straight to the plug. I'm
And
just
here's the-
letting you
here's the
know.
layer.
I don't know how
So-
to do. I don't know about this other person involved in my money and in my transaction. I don't even understand that. Unless you're
Mhm.
trying to help me out, a la Cesar D. Morales. You understand what I'm saying? And you know we can talk, and I can kick you something in the back end. You know, but I don't understand this consignment. I don't understand 3 people being on Instagram and somebody else being in the middle of. We're not talking $100.
Well, to be all fair, no one knew that initially.
Right, no
Everyone
one knew
thought it
that.
was going directly to Ken. But here's the thing:
Yes.
even when you get that book back, you refund the money. Now Sam has paid someone.
Yes.
There's another hole, another
Yep,
issue, and that sucks because now you, as the seller, have your book, send the money back. That's great.
Yep.
Now
Sam
Ashtray's got to
wants the
make sure
book.
Sam gets taken care of.
Which that won't happen very easily. Maybe.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what
But
happens with that, because they've been in
that's
communication, and Ashtray's just waiting for
that's
Jordy
the
to get
problem
his
with
book and to get his
the
refund.
fake accounts. The fake accounts is what caused all this. Ash, you need to stop doing this. Get the hell out of our community.
It is
Seriously.
true. It is true, because, and I'll say it once again, if Jordy knew, let's just say Jordy didn't block Ashtray, but he knew of Ashtray, and Ashtray said claim, Jordy would either ignore it and say
that would have never happened.
that sorry. Oh, first of all, Jordy would be like, first of all, how the fuck did you get in here?
I
And
like that
second, no.
comment, Joseph, by the way.
Which one?
His
You-
last comment. I personally agree with that.
Mhm.
He's a dishonest, shady character, however you want to call it. Because you're right, we're going to talk about the different shades of scammers, and boy, there's a lot of 50 Shades of Scammers. It's gonna be the new movie I'll be
Oh
starring in.
man, 100 shades, bro.
I wish
Oh.
Dell was on right now. Dell just posted a picture the other day of what was clearly a scam. Like clearly.
It is so. I guess what happens to you, Jordy, if so you call so you get a hold of the post office and say just return the book back to me?
So an intercept
Sam?
has to be done online. So that's what I did. It costs like $17.50 to do an intercept. So that's what I did Wednesday morning.
Smart.
I mean, it's all out of my hands at this moment, and I don't know how it shouldn't be even taking this long for it to come back to me, but it is. So like, there's really not a whole lot I can do. I'd like to think it shouldn't be much longer, considering it's been there for like a week now, but I have no idea how the Chicago Post Office operates or functions. I just wish I knew Sam was a real person, because like he could have just sent the book directly back to me immediately, and then this whole thing could have been cleared up a lot sooner than it's being cleared up right now. You know,
Dude,
I've spoken to Sam on the phone multiple times about this. I've been trying to reassure him like as best as I can. I mean, I can't speak for what actually he's going to do once I refund the money to him. But I'd like to think that unless he wants criminal charges pressed against him, that he would refund his money to Sam.
And
Who knows?
I think that's the unfortunate layer that now exists.
Mhm.
Criminal
Thanks a
charges
lot.
are hard in these regards, though.
The criminal charges, I think it's tough. And then of course
Really hard.
he's in international waters, right? He's in the UK. I don't know how that works when it comes to we're gonna go after your ass, and how does that work? Because Ashtray's been at this for so long. He's so good at doing the minimal. I'm gonna send you books, but I'm gonna fuck with you a little. Maybe you won't notice the money missing. I'm gonna send you books, but I'm gonna stick it to you. So he's like this, and yet he got banned out of 98% of all the Facebook groups on comic groups around, but yet he's still floating around in IG. And as we well know, in IG world, there's so many newbies out here, so many newbies, and we as veterans. I'm the oldest. Oh no, I think Ish might be older than me. Since we're the older ones, we should all say, "Hey guys," and this is why Jordy did what he did. Jordy put out the bat signal, said, "Hey everybody, watch out for this guy. Let me tell you what he did," and the newbies could go and go, "I know that name. I know that name." And one of the other posts I saw is that they put all his other aliases that are on there. Who knows if he shut them down already?
Well, remember, dude, that's only going to be good for a month or two.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you know, there's going to be a bunch of new people. I mean, unless there's literally maybe like a page that's dedicated to just reminding people, like, hey, just a flash, don't follow this guy, don't, and just constantly reminding people, that would be cool. Maybe we get Aaron to like run that page or something. You know what I'm saying? And just have.
Here's a
It kind
problem.
of does a pretty
That
good
page
job
has to
already.
ring bells on whatever social media platform it's on. Social media world, Instagram, and for example, is so big, right? It's such a broad world. These scammers can. It isn't like the early 2000s of the internet, right? Now you can come on, you could scam people for years, go away, come back as someone else, restore your reputation, and keep it moving. We are all none the wiser, so to speak. It's really tough.
Yeah, you can change your logo, change your name, and boom, you're somebody else.
Well, I just applaud you, Jordy, for doing this, because it got the community talking again, and it's the same name again.
Mhm.
But there's actual buyers that are getting hurt and sellers, and that's totally what's effing up. Like, we want to have this fun community and keep it fun, but they're just paper and ink. But damn it, there's a value to it, and someone comes in and screws and tries to take money from that.
Dude,
You're
there's a
done.
whole lot of value to it, man. I mean,
Yeah.
that wasn't a small chunk of change right there. I mean, that's felony
No,
charges.
I was pretty concerned immediately. Like I said, it takes from like what he did in the past to a whole new level when you try to take back a payment for almost $6,000. Regardless if he sent it back immediately or not, it's the fact that it happened in the first place.
Yeah,
Right.
Which is what caused me to make the post, because I feel like it's my responsibility, along with all of you guys. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. The bigger account names have a responsibility to the community to make them aware of when things happen like this, because we care about other people, and we don't want to see these things happen to another person, because maybe someone else wouldn't have seen it in time, or maybe who knows what would have happened. And is there? I mean, based off what I've been told from the people that have joined on this chat, it's pretty clear that this was an intentional act. In fact, regardless if we sent the payment or not afterwards, this was an intentional act, and it was not the bank's fault. Because if there was a chance, the people who work in the bank who chimed in would not have said otherwise, because who would know better than somebody who works for the bank? You know what I mean?
Right, right. I tell you what, Jordy. I do hope that you eventually just do this. Everyone gets the book they're supposed to get. I'm just concerned that the book ends up in the proper hands and not at some post worker's house hanging up on his wall, right? And all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, the post office lost your package."
I don't think it will. I just think it's just the post office being the post office. If FedEx was closer to me, I prefer FedEx for higher value books. It's just super inconvenient for me based on where I live. So I always use USPS overnight. I've never had an issue. It's just again, it's an unfortunate circumstance where they had to be like this intercept, and it just kind of screws everything up, and it kind of is what it is. But
so I tell you what, I know that Jordy is
He's got to jump here.
Jordy, and if you could stay on a few more minutes, that's great.
Good to meet you too, by the way, pal.
Cool.
Good to meet you,
cool.
Jordy.
So I will say one thing. I know that Jordy will do his due diligence to let the community know what the end result is, even as simple as I'm done with Ashkay. The proper guy got his book. My hands are clean. At least give us some kind of closure. So at least the community goes, all right, we're not losing sleep over Jordy's ASM1 debacle. But that being said, I would like to hear, because all of you guys, and this is a great panel, because all of you sell in different platforms. Ish, with Comic Sense, he sells mainly on Facebook, and he's an online entity. The other three are mainly IG. Now, when it comes to scammers, this is always the best topic. And yes, we talked about Ashkay. What other types of scams have you guys come across that are, I don't know, out of the box? And let me just bring one up, because James and I talked about one. The good my mother just passed away.
Oh, is that in reference to Drew?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that was quick.
That was quick.
Wow, yeah,
That was quick.
He got a lot of people with that, and that was horrible.
So, in context ish for you, someone lied that his mother. I mean, he used his own mother to pass away excuse, and that he was going to sell some books to pay for the funeral arrangements. Am I right, guys? So far, that sounds about right. Okay.
I haven't heard this one yet.
Okay. Get your popcorn, Jordy. So, long story short, his mom didn't die, and people were buying books. They didn't get anything. There was no books sent. There was nothing. And then he came clean saying, "Oh, I'm in debt. I made a lie." Basically, his name became mud. But in the IG world, who gives a fuck? Because you just create another identity as an account, and you're like the old video games. You have 8 lives left, and boom, you lost 1. You have 7 left. And it's so weird. So I'd like to hear what you guys have you guys come across that sounds like, man, that's just weird as a scammer story.
Well, I could start with that one just because I was part of that Drew one.
You got scammed by Drew?
I paid him for 5 books. I ended up with 1. The red flag was it came from another reputable seller. I called that reputable seller. I was like, why?
I'm still
Did
here,
I get a book from you? Yeah. And he's like, oh, well, Drew told me to send it to you. And I right then and there knew, here it goes, because it was supposed to be his PC that he was selling for his deceased mother or sick mother or whatever it may have been. So I had 5 books in question, or 4 books left, and I said, Drew, you got 2 seconds before you're going on blast. And it took him a while, but he did end up repaying me back. But that opened up the can of worms for me personally on the Drew thing. I did end up getting the 1 book from our good friend, But he kind of is like, yeah, no. So similar, Drew was playing the same game as Ash was doing. He just used his mother's death to 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 spin the story, spin the web, and that was very, very unfortunate because I actually really felt terrible for the situation. I was one of those suckers.
We all did. He was in a chat. He was a big chat with a lot of us, and when he said that, my God, the pouring of words. Hey, I'll donate money. I don't even want a book. I'll donate money to your cause.
Oh my God, that's so
Yeah,
horrible.
there was like
Because
$500 at least day one on that.
there are a lot of good people in this community. I'm going to say
course.
more good than bad, right?
Yep.
And
100%.
for those people to come out and say, I don't even want to buy any of your books. I'm going to donate $100 to your mom's funeral. And to know now that it was complete bullshit enrages me.
Yeah, that's
To
horrible.
use your mother, like who Joseph said, geez, say at least your grandmother, right? I mean, make it more real. At least like make it grandma. Oh yeah, she
What's
was
up, Joe?
98.
Joe's a good dude. He's 30
Yeah.
seconds, man.
Yeah.
Or
So
360, I mean.
what's the other guys? What have you guys come across other scam stories
So for
that
me,
are outside the box?
for me, and I don't know, because some of the things that you said strike a chord with me. It was something that Dell said, right? What about the people who don't
Oh,
pay? I just want to speak to that because I'm in that position,
Yeah.
right? I sell online. Shout out to the Common Sense community. Yo, shout out to the Common Sense community that's in this room right now. See you all. Shout out to y'all. Y'all know who you are. So in my community, right? And I mean, I've had a customer die, right? Like I've had a customer's wife tell me, one of our customers is gone. So, but the way that I sell, specifically my pre-sales, I generally pre-sell packages, several pre-sale packages a week, and I don't charge for those pre-sales until we have the books in hand. So anyone who claims a pre-sale, I'm ordering those books and I'm ordering them out of pocket. I said shout out to my community because my community is really awesome. Because everyone who orders a pre-sale could just be like, you know what, I don't want it. And then I'm stuck with, so I'm actually in that position of, where someone doesn't pay. I want to speak to what Dell said really quick though about someone, for me, like when I was in the street and I was really living it, doing that would bother me. We would really have some issues with that. If you owe me and I'm watching you go purchase stuff somewhere else.
right.
But in my community is really dope. I see it all the time. And listen, for me, I just don't care. I don't want you to not go shop at Tops because I happen to be Walmart, or excuse me, I don't want you because I happen to be Walmart or whatever your supermarket is, and you owe me money. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about how you interact with me and how you deal with me. And most of my customers, 99% of them are really dope. And I see other customers go to, I don't care about that, man. Go do you, live your life. The things that I think the only thing that I can say, because I haven't faced yet. I haven't faced, we deal with people a certain way. We hope to get that in return. So I haven't faced that yet. I mean, I've had people disappear forever. You know what I mean? I just hold on to my stuff until
totally
they
ghosted.
just,
Yeah.
But these were the people who were people who were longtime customers, really supportive. So in my mind, I'm thinking there's really a reason, right? You didn't just come and order a bunch of stuff and just boom. You know what I mean? There's really something real life behind that. The only thing that I can see that I think I always thought was shady, which doesn't apply to my business directly, is there's this really dope eBay scam that everybody falls for, where a single seller will list a book at a certain price and then have somebody else purchase that book to create FOMO. And then
That's
and
like
Yeah,
all of eBay right now, man. eBay's like that all day.
like that's I say it's awesome because so many I don't approve of it. So many people just fall for it. Like you'll watch someone list a book at a price, something generally Key Collector just talked about, or something that generally just got optioned, and they'll list it at a price. It might be higher than the normal market value, but nothing comparable, right? So they'll list it at that price, knowing they got like 4 more. They'll have someone buy it, and price it higher. And then someone will come on and see 2 recently sold at this price. Oh my God, I got it. And then now you're selling a book and you just manipulated the market. I think you've scammed the market essentially.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a form of scamming. But
Yeah.
you gotta relax, man. You gotta relax. It's like Illuminati stuff you're spinning over here.
I be watching. I watch it. Listen, I've manipulated the market with my community in a positive way.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you
Well,
know,
I like it
you
because
definitely
you don't upcharge.
No,
I heard
no,
you
no.
say that, and that was pretty cool. That like if something's going hot, you still charge you
Yeah,
know,
what
the
it
cover
should
price.
be, right? Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
of course. Well, I will never sell a book.
See you, Joe.
Take care,
I
Joe.
won't do that.
Hey, Jordy, what about you? Other than what's going on now, what have you come across?
That's what I
You know,
was
I
wondering. Is this
honestly
the first scam?
nothing really
Is this
to
your first
mention aside from this. You know, I get the typical people that will like come up with some BS excuse, or like they wait 3 weeks to respond to you, or they just don't pay you at all. And it's like those are the people I just cut them right off. I don't have any kind of time for that anymore. It's just not worth it to me. You know, but other than that, but as you guys were saying, you know, it's like I'm the same way. I don't base my prices off of the one odd high sale either. Like when I have a live sale, if I notice something that was like obscure that sold really high, I'll actually write on the note like last sale was whatever, and I'll like laugh about it. I'll be like, it just makes no sense, you know. So I mean, I feel like it's our responsibility as like bigger sellers to do the right thing in the community and like be fair with people. Like, you know, you can't if something's sold obscurely high, you can't be like, okay, well that's the new sale price. No, there's something weird going on. And I'll never buy into that.
So for me, I have to balance it, right? And I just want to say this real quick, and I'm sorry, because somebody asked where can they buy books from Issue X? Comic Sense on Facebook. We have a page, we have a group, COMIXSENSE. We call ourselves the Robin Hoods of the unfair market for a reason. Our motto is we want the community to win, period. So we want to profit. We want to keep these lights on and stay in business. And I'll just give you an example of what I mean, because I love it. My community already knows, but I love to be able to say this. We had 43 Ultimate Spider-Man #1 first print CGC 9/8s. We sold them for $85.
What
when the
is
market was
that?
selling them for $185. We listed them on our page. We let our community purchase them for $85. Our cost on that book, I mean, we had 500 copies at half cover. Our cost on that book to have them, you know, graded in CGC, I gotta sell it to you for $200. I make $35 a pop. I win, you win.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's the key? A lot of people are asking. I mean, what's so special about that one?
It's just a great book that, contrary to popular opinion, there's not a lot of copies floating around.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You
So
know,
it's like a low
And
print
it's
run
good
type of
story.
deal.
It's a hella good
it's a
story.
really great story.
Yeah, it's a great story. I read it. Hey,
Oh
Frank.
yeah.
No, you didn't see that.
Biggest
Ah,
scammer of them all. Get out of
You
here.
scammed the
Look at
community.
this
All right,
scammer!
hold on.
Scammer!
Wait, hold on. You such a fucking pack of wolves.
Set yourself there.
Hey, Jordy, I'm known in the community as the guy who doesn't read. Just let you know, that's why these vultures jumped on me the way they did. I'm known in the
You know
community.
what? I'm with you. I don't
Caesar,
have nearly enough time to read as many as I want to.
read
I
it, Caesar.
I wish I did, and I
I'm gonna
don't.
read it. Well, Jordy, have you ever read a comic book from front to back?
Yeah, I have.
Okay,
I got
I never
the whole
have.
thing when I was really
I
young.
never have.
Caesar
So
promised me he'd read
beat
Thor
me.
#4.
I
I feel scammed.
This is my read pile. It's a read pile.
I feel scammed. I trusted you, Caesar.
That's
I trusted
funny.
you.
I'm known as a scammer because I have all these books, but I never read.
You set
That's
yourself
fucking
up
funny,
for this
man.
one, man.
But Jordy, it's true. I've never read a book from beginning to that's what I'm known for.
So this is a different type of scammer. The one that claims to love comics but
this
never
is a
reads.
scam of life, my friends. But I will say, Frank, what have you come across when it comes to
So
certain
I
scamming?
think I might have told you a couple of you guys. Maybe I don't know. I talk to way too many damn people sometimes. But so the one that almost took me out of business and I couldn't sleep or eat for a month. I think I told Jordy recently this story. I purchased a collection, and you know, shout out to anybody who's on here on Facebook. There's a lot of good guys here, but anyways, I'm not even gonna go there. But so I purchased a collection from somebody on Facebook, and it might have been that I was eager, I was in a rush, you know, I was being an idiot. I did pay for a collection. The value came out to like over 20K. we agreed to somewhere around that 17K. I told him I would give him half now. He sends me half the collection. If he was legit, I'll send him the other half. He sends me the other half of the collection type of shit. So I think I sent the dude like 10K through PayPal Goods and Services. That's how shit goes on Facebook. Somebody I don't know, right? Well, I sent him 10K. The dude, because he doesn't receive payments that large, PayPal wouldn't clear the payment until the items were delivered to me. He didn't feel comfortable doing that, and I'm like, okay, why not? He's like, because I don't know you. I'm like, dude, I'm a legit LLC. Like, this is me. I'll send you my ID. Whatever. You can do references up the ass. I got references all day, every day. I don't know you though, so I'm glad that PayPal went and did that as a buyer protection type of thing. I didn't request that. I didn't whatever. I just sent him the payment. So he's like, well, I'm not gonna send it. I'm not gonna send the books. He straight up said that. I'm like, so I'm down 10K right now. What do you want me to do? He's like, well, just work it out with PayPal, figure it out, or just mark the items as received so they'll clear the payment. I'm like, are you a fucking idiot? Because I'm not. I'm not doing that. Like, that's ridiculous. So you know what? Let's just cancel the claim. I'll find books somewhere else. So I call PayPal. PayPal apparently sent him or approved like 5K or 5,700, not the full 10K or whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, tell you what, like, I want to cancel this claim. I'm canceling the claim. Like, I'm canceling the order. So I'd like to file a claim, excuse me. And they're like, well, I had to file 3 different claims. Each time it was denied because apparently PayPal will not approve a claim if you were purchasing items for resale. They will only cover you if they're items for your collection. And they're like, based off of our data, it shows that you purchase stuff for inventory, so we don't cover that. I'm like, are you out of your fucking minds? Like,
Wow.
I have a working capital loan with you guys. I use a loan through PayPal to purchase stuff for my business. So I'm out the money that they have they loaned me. So like, I'm like, what am I supposed to do now? Like, I'm not gonna pay you guys back. Like, I'm not like,
Right.
Like, how do you expect me to pay your loan back? Yeah, I just got robbed 10K and you guys won't approve it.
Right.
So it was almost like a month and a half ordeal. I ended up going through my bank. So anybody who's watching that, if you guys go through a similar situation, just skip PayPal because they're not going to help you with shit. Go to your bank and just file a chargeback. It works. But for like a month and a half, I'm like, I'm not sleeping. I'm not eating. I'm like,
that's 10K, man.
yeah.
I mean, it's not $10. It's 10K. It's so you got it all squared away. You're all good.
Yes, I mean, thank God, dude. But it helped me up. I couldn't buy inventory, and it just really, put a damper in my attitude. And
What's
and
your
again,
LLC?
Atlas Comic Books and Services LLC.
I tell you what.
The last part's in the, it's in the line.
I will say one thing. Then we have the fun scammers. Oh, the fun scammers. Can you please coin that ASM2? Sure, no problem. Photoshop a fucking post-it note with like writing on it, and they literally Photoshop over a book.
Where's Dell with the Photoshop woman's hand?
Right?
That was great.
He'll join in a little bit. The other thing too is grabbing pictures from Facebook and using them on Instagram, right?
Or vice versa, yeah.
Vice versa. Instagram grabbing your picture, Jordy, that you put on a promo, and then
stock photos.
Stock photos.
Someone else's photos.
It's rampant. My favorite, and I talked about this last week, and Jordy, you might get a kick out of this. Okay, Dale, when you have a chance. My favorite, Jordy. Somebody they scanned a picture of the book. Scanned. Had the picture laying down off on the distance, a little blurry, and then holding the coin of this is the Hulk 181 that I'm selling. And you
got
could
one for
see,
you in
and
a
you could
couple
see the
minutes.
crinkle on the paper, and I'm like, wow.
I got
Oh,
one for you in a couple minutes too. By the way, this
That's a
one is
bad.
hilarious.
I mean, that
So-
is one. The other one too is buying a book and receiving a box of crackers.
yes.
Mhm. Yep.
That's one we've seen before.
That's
Yeah, but the item was marked delivered.
It was someone won a PS5.
eBay special.
They won a PS5 through a raffle, and then they received crackers and cheese in a
Oh,
box.
oh, you know what's a good one, and I don't know if it applies to everyone. It's happened to me several times, and it stopped me from doing something giving back to the community, which sucks even more. Is like when I used to do giveaway posts, and then they create fake at last pages, and then reach out to people and let them know that they won the giveaway. All they have to do is sign up for
Yep.
X, Y, and Z, and then
Wow.
people are like, why did I just get charged by some gym membership in LA? And I'm like, I don't know, that wasn't me. I didn't send you whatever. Oh, it was an at last account, and they said that this is the giveaway account or whatever. And I'm like, that was not me, man. I do all my giveaways. So now I have to put this big ass disclaimer like in my giveaway post, like, hey, if anybody reaches out to you to sign up for something, it is not me. But you know, so it sucks. You can't even do something nice.
Do your due diligence. Atlas has over 14K followers. If you hit that Atlas and there's like 8 followers, it's probably not this fool right here. You know what I'm
But
saying?
some people don't check that. They just go right to their
They just go
messages. They
straight.
see at last comics giveaway page or some shit. Hey, you won our giveaway. They remember there was a giveaway and they're like, oh shit. They don't check.
What did you have, Ish? Like I just saw this.
I'm reading this clip.
Oh, I know. I'm reading this
So
this thing.
this
Yeah.
is about tail end of the pandemic, right? And you guys ever hear me talk about Darren Tucci and Pressing Matters LLC? Awesome guy. He does all of our pressing services. So he calls us up one day and he's like, yo, there's this guy selling these books. I'm not sure if it's a scam. So of course he calls me because, you know, this is in our area and I'm built some type of way. So he calls me. So I'll call this guy. This Indian guy. No offense to Indian people at all. He just happened to be Indian. And this is relevant to what the story I'm about to tell you. So I call him and he's sick as a dog. He's got COVID. Clearly he has COVID. You can tell he's like sick, nose congested, the whole nine. And he's like, yeah, you know, I got these books. You know, my father, I cleaned, he died. I cleaned out his storage unit. You know, I don't know what they're worth, but, you know, I'm trying to move them. And he's showing us pictures of like Amazing Fantasy 15, right? Amazing Spider-Man #1, right? And I'm like, okay, how much you want for him? And he's like, I don't know, maybe like $1,200. I know they're kind of worth something, but I'm not trying to. So me being the person that I am, right? And this is how I am. This is how I always treat people in the community. If I'm going to buy a collection from you, right? Like maybe I can't afford, maybe you got that $20,000 collection like he was talking about, and I only got like 6. I'm going to get your collection, but I'm going to come back to you with more money. Especially if you don't know, like you're one of those, you just someone in the street who doesn't. I'm up. That's just how we operate. I'm going to tell you what you have, what I can do for you, and I'm going to make sure that we take care of you on the back end if we can't do it on the front end. So I told him, I said, listen, man, if you really have what you say you have, I'm willing to give you more money than what you're asking for, because I'm not going to try to just get you, right? So he's like, okay, well, because I have COVID and I'm in a wheelchair, my wife's in a wheelchair. He's like, I need you to, if you want to do this, he's like, it'll be at this address. Okay, mind you, I told you this guy was Indian, right? So he gives me the address, right? He gives me the address, and he's like, because I have COVID, he's like, you know, I can't take PayPal. I can only take Cash App. And when you Cash App me, then I will put the books on the porch. Right?
I've heard of something similar to this.
Wait a minute. Here's the catch. And I don't know if y'all know Western New York. The area he told me to go to is essentially if you were to go to Grape Street Watts in Compton, California.
Grape Street.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, literally, it was Grape Street, but in the fruit belt of Buffalo, New York, which is like gangster. I can go there because I grew up like you're not in the fruit belt, bro. You're this Indian guy. You know, like an Indian, like you would hear, man, I'm gonna sound so bad. Like, you know, if they call you from a call center or something, like, listen, you are not in the fruit belt on Grape Street with an amazing Fantasy 15 ready to sit it outside on your porch at all. Like this, he's like, yeah, just cash at me. And once I get the cash app, we'll sit. I'm like, yeah, man, now I'm good.
No,
But I had to like, I would have went there if it was legit. Care.
I like how because I have COVID, I can't use PayPal.
And I'm in a
Yeah.
wheelchair. No,
PayPal
he
makes
has
me more
COVID, so he
sick.
can't come outside for us to see the books.
No, because
Cash app me. As soon as I get the cash app, my wife will sit them on the porch.
just to let you know, or just to let you guys know, PayPal is they get COVID and Cash App is does not.
COVID is the Cash App's the antidote to COVID, bro.
Just putting it out there.
Listen, when he told me Grape Street and the fruit belt, I knew it was a wrap. I'm like, nah.
Common sense. Now, Jordy, you're saying you heard something like this because it's almost the same thing, right? It's like they give you a whole different address and you go there and right.
Yo, Sam, it was the fruit belt, bro. Sam's from Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? It was really the fruit belt, bro. Like the fruit belt. Like for real.
It's scammers is beyond. And the funny thing is they keep getting more and more clever and sometimes they get more and more stupid. That the other I'm gonna just throw it out there. The other indicator for all you newbies who are tuning in, if the guy claims to be from New York or whatever it is, and he's cool and all that, and he coins it and the dates are backwards, that's normally not the way we do dates here in the States.
Oh, and also if they put the dollar sign after the numbers, that's a scammer.
That's also a scammer.
Anybody with, this is for Facebook, anybody with two first names, that's a scammer.
Yeah. Oh, look at you.
Nope.
Got But I tell you what, my favorite story so far was when we so somebody posted up on the Facebook and just say, watch out for this guy, he's a complete scammer. It's because if you look at the profile pic of James John, and the profile pic he used was the actor who played Green Arrow. Stephen Amell. And he was with his girlfriend or wife, whatever. Because I'm like, why is that profile pic up familiar? I did a reverse search and it's the guy, the actor. Yeah, okay. He's on Facebook selling you a Turok #1.
Yes.
For $200.
Actually,
Okay,
I need to send you some Turok. Apparently, you
those
are
are on
on
Facebook.
this Turok.
I have. Oh, I no worries.
I got like 5. You need it.
Like business pages. I actually get them to my page like all the time. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, like every other week, somebody who's from Africa,
yes,
is telling me that they have saying, yeah, I got this collection.
Mhm.
You know, I'm looking to get rid of it, or I'm looking to move it, or can you tell me how much these are worth? And I already know where it's going. We just ignore them, but we get this like every other week.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you something. Do you guys get skeptical when? And I know this is gonna sound horrible, but when a female is selling a comic book, or reaching out to you about selling you comics or anything like that, do you always, is that always a red flag for you guys?
It is, especially if they look like they're out of the swimsuit magazine.
Right.
100%.
Yeah, I grew
like,
up in the era where girl on the internet meant guy in real life. Like
Right,
that's the
right.
era I grew up
100%.
in. So I'm skeptical across the
That's-
board. No knock to the women
that's
who
what-
collect.
that's what
I
you
didn't
admit.
want to knock a whole sex by bringing that up,
No,
but
no.
I'm always like Sarah Michelle. She's selling, and she knows about all these keys. I'm like, get out of here.
They
dude.
get the
That's
idea that we're nerds, so they look like their page looks like what's that website that everyone's on now?
Pornhub.
I'm not going to say anything.
You know the
Yeah.
website. You got an account.
I'm
You know
not
what I'm
going to
talking
say
about.
anything.
Right,
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 I like that
right.
phrase. It's like, dude, whatever.
OnlyFans, right? They look like their page
Oh,
looks like
there you go.
OnlyFans,
Hell yeah.
and they know more about comics than you.
Of course.
Yeah.
They have 180, 181. They have 10
Right.
9.8s. You
Yeah,
know,
I got this Hulk book with Wolverine. This Wolverine guy on the cover. I hear he's pretty popular. Like, can
Oh,
you
and
tell
that-
me something about it?
that brings me to another point. If the deal's too good, it probably
always is.
No one's going to be
It always
selling
is.
you a 7.5 Incredible Hulk 181 for $900.
I appreciate and know it's a legit if it's like double FMV. I'm like, all right, this guy's legit. This guy knows.
And
got
uh,
those
We
books.
do
and-
not live in our mother's basements
and the other
playing video
one,
games all day.
the other one is what you just talked about, Ish. My grandfather's just died. I don't know what these books are worth, right? And they're like fucking banger after banger after banger.
Yeah.
Can someone tell me? I'll take 900. Just get. I'm too lazy to bag and board. Can you just give me
Yep.
like 1,000 and you could just take it away from me?
Or the famous eBay. I just got a divorce and I'm getting rid of all my husband's stuff.
Oh my God.
And
See,
her
for
husband's
me-
standing right next to her while she's
100%.
The ones on
100%.
Facebook where it's like, oh, my son just died and I just bought him this PS5 first person.
Oh yeah.
this post.
My God.
Mhm.
Oh my God. You know what?
Oh, dude. Sometimes when I'm bored, those are the ones that I go after. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Hey, I liked it. They'll message me. I'm like, yeah, dude, I want that. I need it.
But it's
What's up,
interesting,
dude?
Caesar, because everything that you said on the real life end of it is like legit. Because the back end of my business, right? The back end is a gold jewelry pawn shop, an actual business, right?
Okay.
Tag jewelry.
All right.
So
Mhm.
I'm in there because that's my business address, right? So I'm in there, picking up my lunar, and people come in all the time. And I don't run the shop, a partner of mine does, a close friend of mine, but that's my business address. So I'm in there all the time picking up inventory. So, but people come in all the time with, yo, my husband died. I
Mhm.
got this box. You know what I mean? It is a box, on the counter. I don't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? They come in all, be it jewelry, be it comics, be it
Mhm.
really dope 80s action figures, be it, you know what I mean? So you do see that.
Sure.
When
But
you
that's
see it
but that's
online,
tangible.
you have to be
Right, that's tangible.
very wary.
So
Yeah.
Jordy, if you have to drop off, I get it. We understand. I'm going to switch gears. We're going to talk about X-Men 97.
Oh, I haven't watched
I'll be
it,
back.
so
I'll be back in a year. No,
yeah,
I'm just kidding. I'll be here. Just give me one
All
second.
right, I just wanted to
I'm gonna go get
end by
some.
saying, thank
Yes.
you guys for having me on. And if by some chance actually can provide me with some kind of undeniable proof, I will entertain it. At this point, I am believed that this was all intentional. But if he can provide me with undeniable proof, I will post an update and let you guys know. Either way, I'm going to post an update. Once I get the book in hand, once he's refunded, there will be an Instagram post.
How
that's
can I follow
public.
you on Instagram, bro?
Right there.
Underscore Marveled Comics. My name right here is just underscore in the front and in the beginning and the end of this.
Okay.
Please give me a follow.
I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna need you to follow me back though.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely.
I will tell you guys right now. All right.
do not bother waiting on a response from this guy. I mean,
Yeah, that
he
is
will
true.
take like a month and a half to
That is
keep
true.
back up.
Okay,
I will
I'm not the
detest
best at answering DMs, but I,
100%. This fucker took like 17 days. I'm like, I just want a logo, dude. Come on.
But I will say, if you purchase a book from him, that will come faster than the DM. Okay.
But-
Now
but
that is
Yeah.
advertising
I
right
will
there.
say, Jordy on the Instagram shows, I don't know, this fucker goes back in time. I don't know if it's a time machine or what the hell he does.
This is from Jordy. Let me see. This
Hold
is
on, let
from
me show you.
Jordy. Wait, hold on. This is from Jordy. Wait. Hold on.
Jordy has the books.
This is from Jordy. Look, that's your handwriting, right?
Yep. I remember though. Yeah, that was the recent stuff you got from me. Yep.
That's Ashkay's writing.
Oh,
So I will
No.
say one thing. If you haven't gone to Marvel Comics, go do it. Follow his ass because he has the deals. And he deals with Raw and Slab. One of these days I'm still gonna buy from him, but I do payment plans, so I gotta talk to Jordy on
Payment
the
plans.
other side. Payment plans the way to go. James
Always,
got
always
it.
thank you for the shop. And I guarantee all my raw books 100% too. Every single thing's 100% money back guarantee. Whether if by some chance I'm very conservative on grading, but if by some chance I ever get it wrong, no questions asked. You send it back. Counts for restoration. Counts for anything of the above. I'm one of the few private accounts that does this.
He is fantastic.
And that's literally how he opens up his shows too. I mean, it's that same. You have that like written down. It's like perfect, bro. It's like he guarantees it. His grades are there. I mean, you can ask Jordy. I have an allowance, and they know it. It's like an ongoing thing, with him and Dusty, the Jordy and Dusty, the guys that end with Y's.
Oh my god, they're insane deals. But anyways, go follow this guy. He's fantastic. Jordy,
Thank you.
Thanks again for jumping
Yes.
on. I know
Thank
you
you guys. Please watch out for the update. I'll be posting one as soon as I have one.
Good to meet you,
Thank
fam.
you all
All right.
again. Take care.
Jordy.
Later, Jordy.
We'll be in touch,
Hey,
man.
guys.
I will
Sounds
be
good.
right back. I know you're about to get into X-Men 97, so I gotta,
No,
I'll be right back.
Okay, well, listen, no spoilers.
No.
I didn't watch
have
it
nothing,
today.
I have
Well,
nothing
I didn't
to
even know
add.
there was an episode today.
Every Wednesday.
Oh, that's what you
Yeah.
meant, James. By you said he saw it. Oh, fuck. Okay,
The
listen
fuck?
up. Listen up, people. All right. So were you planning on watching it, Frank?
Yeah, I'm just waiting to marathon it. I don't like
Okay,
waiting.
fine.
I don't like waiting and then forgetting and then having to rewatch.
It's
whatever.
gonna be in the back while you're selling,
Well,
like
well,
your Iron Man stuff. And
Well, I will tell you. I will say one thing. So I just found out before. So while Ish returns, so I found out. I'm gonna give a shout out to and to Angela from Prairie Meadows. I found out that Prairie Meadows is a nursing home in Texas, and
Oh.
they put our show on every Wednesday on the lobby, and they all sit down and watch the show.
Wait, people are gonna watch me right now. We're
People are
Yeah.
watching you as we speak.
and
Right
with
now.
you-
Right now, they watch us live in their little watching community in this nursing home.
So there's no chance to edit all this nonsense I've been.
No, not at all.
Oh,
That's it,
well.
my man. We do stuff live. It is what it is. You
I'm
know.
fucked.
But anyways, it's a shout out to the Prairie Meadows, everyone there.
You're
who
just
supported the
real,
show,
okay?
You know. So
So
thank
shout out
you.
to Prairie Meadows, man.
Prairie Meadows
Oh.
Nursing Home. There you go, man. They sit down and watch
Can I
us
take
every
my shirt off
Wednesday.
for them? Can I take my shirt off for them?
Oh, there it
If
goes.
you want to give them some heart attacks, that's perfectly fine. But or
Yo, speaking
not.
of heart, check this out. Look, check this out. Look at that heart.
Whoa.
Like it.
Damn.
Boop, boop.
I don't even know what that
Boop,
is.
It's a heart.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like my chest is ripped open.
Oh god. All right.
So
All
on
right.
that note,
So on that note,
X-Men 97. What a
well, we're not going to do any spoilers because there's a lot of people who've seen it. Now, I will say about X-Men 97. So
Yeah,
Ish,
no
and
spoilers.
Ish and I talked about this when I was a guest on his show.
good show, by the way.
I-
Wonderful show.
Yeah, that was a great show. We had a good time. I don't get it as much as some of you fucking nerds get it. Now, mind you, when the show first came out, I was already 2 years married in my first marriage. I wasn't really watching the cartoons.
She can
Is this
marry
the
at 12.
original, the original run?
Original, right?
She can
So
marry
I
at
God.
wasn't.
12.
So I
I was
wasn't so.
7.
I know.
What year did you get married?
95 for my first marriage.
Ah, okay. I was a
Right.
year before you.
Right. So
My
I was in
God.
95 for my first marriage. I keep saying the word first because it's first for a
wasn't-
fucking reason.
wasn't-
You know what I'm saying?
I was in kindergarten.
So I wasn't into it, and I understand how the nostalgia. Hey, Angela, I understand the nostalgia of why the new one came out, and people are like, I sat at 1 o'clock in the morning like a child sitting right in front of the TV, and the minute I heard that intro, it got my heart pumping.
Stop it.
I get it. I get it. I fucking get it. But maybe I'm just not that nostalgic guy when it comes to that kind of stuff. Because I watched it. I didn't watch today's. Okay. It's all right. The storylines, okay. It's all right. But I'm not going goo goo gaga over it like some of these people. I know James absolutely loves this shit. Now,
Yep.
James, I'm going to ask you: is it
Do you
pure-
really love it though?
Yeah.
Really love it? Is it the nostalgia thing?
Nope.
Like, are you sitting in front of your TV saying this is cutting edge?
Yep. 100%.
But
I
is
love
it the storyline that's getting you?
The storyline.
Because it's
It's not
fucking
the art, though, right?
animation. It's not.
No,
the
it's not the
animation.
art. Actually, it's not the art. And I'm big on art. So for me to say that, and I love all types of medium in art, it's not the art. I'm not digging on it. So
Are
But
you digging on the dialogue?
well, I think the
The-
storyline, right?
I think it's the storyline. I think it's the getting into characters that I've been wanting to see. I'm driving back into the books that I there's characters that I forgot about, and then I go and find them in the books, and I'm like, damn, that was cool. That was a cool John Byrne drawing back in the day, and let me read this little chapter and stuff, and the Storm
You know
story
what?
that's going on right now. And I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it was cool to see that actually play out on some sort of medium. I don't want to ever see what's happening in the animation opposed to in real life. Like, I like what the Marvel Universe has done with the MCU, but I like that this is in animation because they can
You
play
know
with
what? At the end of the day, what I love about it, I haven't watched it, so it's not like I love the show, but what I love about it is the fact that Marvel is putting out stuff for today's youth because it's not really for us grown ass dudes, right? Like we had our time. This is intended to bring in a new generation, a new love, a new passion into characters that they don't know. So it's
I
I
couldn't
love that they're
disagree with
still,
that more.
but that they're that
Okay.
it's not. Oh, that it's not intended for adults.
I think it's intended for people who. So
Us.
I know there are a ton of marks for that 90s X-Men. And I don't think 21st century youth are marking art for a cartoon with 90s dialogue in 90s artwork.
Well, no, look, look. I mean, I don't know, but so I got my kids. So what happens is I'm all hyped about it. So it
So
brings
you
in
get them
what.
hyped.
So it brings in two generations into one show. So it's like I could bring my kids and be like, "Hey, girls, let's watch this."
But how are
It's
they?
cartoons. So I got my daughters are 10, 14, and 15 already.
So the 14 and 15-year-old are probably going to be like, Dad,
No, they fuck with it, man.
you
My
can't eat
kids,
off this, Dad.
uh,
Like, yo, they're gonna be like,
bro,
listen,
my
they don't even
girls
pull up
are
the whole TV screen.
they are all about it, man. They love all the Marvel stuff that comes out, man. My kids have watched every Marvel movie. Like I made them sit down and every time I put something in front of them, they're like, "Dad, I don't want to watch this." Give it like maybe just give it like 10, 15 minutes. All of a sudden they're like, "I want to finish." You know how hard it was to get my kids to watch Dragon Ball Z, right? That old anime shit. Man, my kids are addicted. And then they went, "I want to watch DB," and I'm like, "Well, I can't really let you watch Dragon Ball. It's a little inappropriate. There's a little bit of inappropriateness there. There wasn't ratings." Man, they watched all of Dragon Ball. They watched all of Super, and this was before they were 10. So I would go. We would make it like a thing. I'd take them to the store. This is back when we were collecting DVDs. We weren't streaming yet. So I was like, all right, we'll go to the store. We'll buy like a season of DVDs and then we'll watch it all. And then we finish watching it. Daddy, I want to get the next one. I'm like, nah, you got to wait like I did, motherfuckers. You got to wait a week for the next episode like I
That's
did.
awesome,
You know?
though. That's really awesome.
No,
And shout out to the kids. Shout out to
I
your
get
kids,
that.
man. That's really awesome.
I get
Thanks,
that
man.
portion of as a father and or a mother or anybody who's a family who wants to bring kids into their youth, right? So I get that. If I was into it and I have kids who are like, I'm like, come over here, we're gonna watch the original one first. I'm gonna make you suffer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you suffer through that, and then we're gonna watch the new one all together. Get them worked up. I get it. Generations cross paths and all that stuff. But now for this 52-year-old man to sit here and watch it, I feel like I'm watching it because I need to watch it.
You do need to watch it. You're in the business, or
Right.
That's why I watch it.
That's
Yeah.
why I watch it because
we gotta watch She-Hulk. We gotta watch it all.
So
Dad
here's the
loves
thing, though.
Dad
You're
loves it.
probably not gonna find a bigger X-Men fan than me. Like, I'm just an X-Men mark. It was my first love in comics way back in 1986. You're just not gonna find a bigger X-Men mark than me. Thing is, and I'm gonna say something good about it because those who are here who follow me know I've had nothing but horrible things to say about this cartoon. Horrible things. I'm gonna say something positive. One of the things that I do appreciate about this cartoon is we've been given about 50 obscure mutants that only hardcore comic fans would know. Like, they've just been throwing them in there just in, like, for half a second here, or they go to Genosha and you just get tons of actual, like, they're not even obscure if you know, if you read the books or follow the books, like so that's really cool. Mutants that shouldn't even be there yet during this time period, like, really, really cool that they're doing that. But for me,
are they messing up the storyline by doing that?
no,
Like,
they just happen to be walking, or they might be minding their business or what have you, and they're just kind of in there. You know what I mean? Some really, really interesting characters that you're like, oh wow, oh, that was cool. They threw him in it. Oh, that was cool. Oh, they go to Genosha, and you really get to see, like, cool, like, your dad's. I don't want to ruin it. Just watch it anyway.
Yeah.
So, but for me though, right? like Caesar said, he was 2 years into his first marriage. I don't know how many years I was into my first marriage. I was in a foxhole in a foreign country when that cartoon, the first series came out.
Damn.
When I finally, just a couple years ago, Peter, not even a couple years ago, but Peter was one of the people who recommended. Peter, I love you, bro. Yeah, you should go back and watch that original cartoon. Man, I put that joint on my TV and it didn't even fill up the whole screen. It was like a box in the middle of the screen. I was out. I'm good.
You know what's funny?
I'm like, yo, I'm good. I didn't miss anything.
You know what's funny is that I was not an X-Men fan. So, okay, all right. Let me start. So I really did like the cartoons. I love the video games, the toys growing up. But when it came to comics, I did not like X-Men because to me, as like a kid, reading X-Men, it was so fucking difficult. Like the bubbles were really big. There were so many characters.
Can we become friends on Facebook so I can unfriend you?
I have no
Right
friends.
away.
It's funny. My IG, tons of followers. My Facebook page, my personal, bro, I got maybe 67 people, and that's all. I'm good there. But I'm serious. I didn't like the comics because there was so many characters. There was the stories were really, to me personally, really super complicated. There was just so much going on. Like as opposed to like you grab like a Spider-Man. All right, it's Peter, his aunt, his girl, his boss. Like it's a lot easier to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Spider-Man storyline as opposed to like you open up an X-Men, all of a sudden it's like Storm, Wolverine's coming in, Beast is here, Xavier's talking up a shit storm, and then you gotta go
you're how old are you?
I'm 34.
Yeah, so for you, you're in that sweet spot where the X-Men got really convoluted and there were tons of X-Men books on the market.
Yep.
And
I grew up on the Jim Lees. Like Jim Lee.
Yeah, you grew up on Jim Lee. I
Yeah.
grew up prior to Jim Lee and then I saw Jim Lee come up. You know what I mean? So for me, I was that era before where it was like
a lot simpler.
Not even a lot simpler. It was like Claremont at his best, right? Like that spot where he was just there were like 3 X-Men books: X Factor, X-Men, New Mutants.
Let me
what I mean?
Let me interrupt here because you guys, was it you, Ish, talking about? I just got this. I just realized I didn't realize that Dale was sharing.
I didn't know how to share it. He sent it to me
here
too.
he goes.
He sent it to me as well.
All right. So look at this. Look at this. There's someone photoshopped a hand holding the coin on
holding
this
a Photoshop coin.
A Photoshop coin. Do you guys see that? Hold on. Let me see if I could. Let me see.
A female's hand.
I think there's
yes. Not. It's got my attention now.
There's the book. Hey, can you coin this? Sure. Oh, God damn it. Sure. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, I mean the whole lighting, everything just looks so off, dude.
Look how blurry it is, and look how crystal clean.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The other hand looks like it just came off of like a lotion commercial.
Yeah.
It just took it right off of a.
Look at the date. Look at the date.
And all I will say about these scammers is, like props because they're consistent. They don't give up. They're really into their job, and
get me this Batman money.
The reflection.
They're gonna try to get it.
The everything. The date was 13/4/24.
I always say, if people, real people, good people, worked as hard as scammers do, nothing could stop them. Nothing could stop them.
It's interesting, though, right? Where did they originate? Who was it that sat down and said, "Hey, you know what? There's this community of these people that we think are sitting in their mom's basement playing video games. Let's just go prey on them. They believe anything." Listen, do you not realize we eye comic books? I mean, really eye them to see if they're worthy to send the CGC to get graded. And like we do this. You know what I mean? You're not just gonna it'll listen. There are those who fall for it. And again, Caesar spoke kind of earlier, the newbies in the communities, right? That will fall for that. And eventually they won't. Eventually they're going to be like us. Like, listen, first of all, I want to tell you, scammer, something. We read.
Not all of us.
We are literate. This guy doesn't read.
No, but you read. You don't read comics, but you read. We are literate. We hip to the game. We read stories where the dopest villains written by some of the dopest writers, pull off some of the. You think you're gonna show up with a Photoshop picture?
But it works.
But
That's
it
what I'm
works.
telling you.
That's
It
why
works.
newbies.
Listen,
it worked once.
my thing is
and to
1
repeat.
out of 10. All you got to do is when I post a book, I post 10 books. Hope one of them sells. They post it in 10 different groups. They just need one. They just need one person to fall for it.
Yep.
And how many people are on Facebook? Millions. So imagine one post. That's all it takes. Just one person to fall for it, man. You know how many people have for real gone back and be like, "Oh, I fell for this shit, man," and you're like, "Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did."
Well, I think that's what was so cool about, I don't know, this whole story. Jordy's not new. Jordy is very veteran in selling, and he got scammed. I've been scammed.
Listen,
The Jordy
Jordy,
scam was a special case.
again,
Like, he
Jordy did not get scammed. I
Right.
just
That's
like,
true.
and
That's
I
true.
said it. I said it while I was here, so I'm not talking shit. I'm not saying it behind anyone's back. Caesar knows how I feel about it too. We've had talks about this. I'm not. Didn't I say I was going to come on here and I was going to address that?
Sure.
That's not a scam. People are like, "Oh, he's a scammer." I said he's not a scammer. He might be a piece of shit, but he's not a scammer because
That's true.
because here's the thing. Jordy asked for friends and family. He got paid. Someone's going to get a book. There's money. Everyone's going to be righted at the end of all this. I know you're asking for updates. Man, my thing's mirrored. I know you're asking for updates. There's going to be updates. Everyone's going to be right. Sam is an actual person.
Yeah.
You know, again, where Ashtray, where he conducted his business very poorly. That's politically correct. Sam would have received his book. Jordy would have been paid either way. I know whatever happened on PayPal, he tried to do some shady shit.
Mhm.
I don't know exactly the full story, so I'm not defending anybody. But what I would say is he's not a scammer. He's just a piece of shit, and the way he runs his business is shitty. That's all.
You do have a point because normally scammers, and we've known quite a few of them, they scam and then they disappear.
They
For a
disappeared.
very long time, lay low, then they maybe come back as a different name.
Mhm.
We know many of them. This guy's been around and he goes off as himself. He's like, here I am.
He posts his pictures. He'll let you know he's at a marathon. He'll let you know he's out of town. He's not hiding from anybody.
Yeah.
My man said, "Pull up."
Yeah, yeah,
pull up.
exactly.
Yeah.
Pull up. This is where I'm at, right? And I'll charm
Right.
you with my English, my British accent. So
Why this blew up is because he tried to pull this on a big page that said, "Fuck you, I'm gonna put you out there."
yeah.
That's what happened. But like I said, I am not defending him. Maybe I'm one of the lucky ones. Not that I'm gonna do any more business with him either way, but I've done plenty of transactions with him without any issues, is what I can say on my end. Again, from here forth, cut, obviously, and it's been cut. But
Yeah, his name is one of those. It's just mud, you know. It's kind of like, oh, don't do business with that guy, you know. And it's like,
because you never know. It's
because you never know. You might be one of the guys who gets the books, or you might be the one who doesn't get the book, and then all of a sudden he's like, I don't know.
That is the art of war, right?
Let's go. Oh, we lost.
Yeah,
I'm
this
sorry.
guy's playing.
Of course, you're gonna. Who's at my door?
Is that your door?
Yeah, my dog isn't barking. That's weird. So, of course, right? I mean, this is how I look at it because I am a student of the art of war. Of course, I'm gonna develop a reputation for the sole purpose of having people speak to my credibility, so that people can come forward. And I tend to agree with At Last, right? I don't think that was a scam. I think it was shady business. I think he robbed Peter to pay Paul.
That's what he's
Yes, that's the best way to put it.
And then he reneged because he wasn't gonna get whatever he wasn't gonna get what he was gonna get on his end.
Correct.
So then he reneged, or maybe Sam backed out of it. I don't know. I just know that the failure, which is clear and there's no defending it. The failure is on his end with banking. No bank is going to do something. They're only doing it for your protection. It only takes a couple minutes to say, okay, clear it. They're not going to give you the money and then take it back unless you say something. And he said something.
Mhm.
He said something. That's just, banks don't work. We're not on your behalf. We took your money back. We gave it to you. We gave it up, and then on your behalf, just in case, you weren't sure you wanted to make that decision, so we decided, let's give you your money back. They ain't doing that. It's not happening. So we know that at his end, for whatever reason, he was apprehensive. Whatever he did enough, I would feel sorry.
Dude, I've never ever heard of a payment being sent to friends and family and then being able to retract that payment. I've never.
That's new to me. I thought
Unless again that they're. I mean, no, because they can't even send it unless there's funds available.
He refuted it.
You can't though on a friend.
Of course you can.
With your bank,
family,
you can refute it on your bank.
Oh, like a chargeback.
Yeah, you can refute it with your bank. Which is why he was told, which is why PayPal told him that the bank can do that. Because the bank isn't going to just do it of their own accord.
Right. No,
right.
Of course,
you have to contact.
Yeah,
you have to say something.
So that makes it even more shady because he purposely.
Yes,
because I remember Jordy said that PayPal told him that the bank can do that, and there's only one way the bank can do that is if you notify them. They're just not going to send the money, as my accountant came on here and said. You're just not going to send the money, and if someone else came and then take it back.
Yeah. That's just anxious. Just to let you know, yes, he has quite a few different.
He's got a split personality disorder.
Yeah, he's like he's a little bit like Joker, actually.
Do you guys smell your comic books, no matter how old they are? Does anybody else do that?
I know Ish does. I know for a fact.
I do.
Oh, you too?
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah, I don't.
Especially older ones, because it takes you back, right? They say smell is the oldest. They say smell is the most prominent sense associated with memory.
Yeah, that you can smell something from when you were a baby, and it'll just take you
bring
back
memories.
Well, the baby or the mold, well, depending on where the book's been.
Yeah, so
especially when it smells like that old newsprint.
Yeah,
man, you know what I mean? Like it's really some of these newer stuff. You're never gonna get that again, right? But that old newsprint stuff.
I know that Peter. You've had a discussion with me in I think Ish's show. I mean, I have a small box of some raw stuff, but yeah, I can't. This smells like plastic. Everything smells like.
You're never gonna read it
because I'm gonna slap him one day. See what I did there? You son of a bitch! I got you.
Ish, I hate to throw it back, but why do you hate on X-Men so bad? Is it just the art?
Do I hate on X-Men or the cartoon?
You want to go back to this?
The cartoon.
I get it because he feels like
I'm coming right back because damn it, I'm enjoying the damn thing.
Let me take it back. Let me take it all the way back. Right?
Are you watching it, Ish? Are you watching it?
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah, okay.
And I haven't been able to do my little TED Talks and my videos because I do these little CSPs and these videos where I talk about stuff, and I just haven't had time to do it. But Peter's gonna recognize what I'm about to say. So I hate, I cannot stand the very idea or thought of the existence of Gambit.
What?
And the only reason why Gambit is popular, see, you didn't read X-Men, is because of that cartoon.
I did not read X-Men. Yeah,
he was not a popular character in the comic books. People did not take to him, especially if you look at Uncanny X-Men 266. The art was horrible. The cover is terrible.
Oh my gosh! When I was told it looks like a thong, I can't unsee it now.
Listen, this guy walks around in hot pink in a trench coat.
I thought he was so badass, man, with his little stick, being able to throw these freaking cards that blew shit up. I thought
that was hot pink tank top and his.
Well, remember, like I said, I always played with the toys, and then I really, really loved the Super Nintendo. Do you remember the Super Nintendo X-Men game that came out where you put the little codes in it?
You see how horrible the art is on that cover? It's terrible.
I have seen a lot worse art before, but that is
come on. You know what? It's not that bad.
It's terrible. Look at it, really.
Well, he is wearing a cod piece or where the fuck that is. I mean,
yep. I saw it.
It's like the
Skeleton Keys did a little video on it, and she's like, "There it is."
So 1990. Okay, so you're saying, but wait a minute.
So James, for me, right?
Yep.
I came out of an era where we just had the Outback X-Men. We had this really great run of X-Men done by Mark Silvestri, written by Chris Claremont. Really great team of X-Men coming out of Mutant Massacre, going into Fall of the Mutants, and you got characters like Nightcrawler and Longshot, which Gambit was essentially created to replace. Right, he was like this amalgamation of Nightcrawler and Longshot, and he was kind of for those who were just reading. This is pre-cartoon. He was kind of like this poor imitation. He was like a kind of cheap imitation of.
Oh yeah, no, he was the laughing stock. He was the Deadpool when Deadpool first showed up. They just need a goofy character to show up because the storyline went to hell there entirely.
The cartoon really made him popular. I came back and I'm like, why do people love this guy?
Who?
I didn't watch the cartoon.
Gambit.
Gambit.
Oh, Gambit.
The cartoon is the reason why Jubilee, who I did like, and Gambit are really popular. Jubilee isn't really popular, but I like Jubilee. But that really put them over.
Jubilee. What is Jubilee? Okay, again.
What is her power?
What the fuck is she like a weaker version of Gambit?
What is she? Fireworks? What is that?
Yeah, she does. She kind of does fireworks. She can take her kinetic energy and turn it into kind of light, explosive energy. She has Omega level potential though, but she just hasn't achieved that.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Watch X-Men '97. You'll see.
No. I gotta wait for it all to come out first.
Listen. Now you're making me. Now I might just take down that Gambit and put up another book instead as in my display.
You had to really look at. You really looked at the cover. I have 4 copies of that book.
You know what? I think I'm being influenced by.
Things up.
I think I'm being influenced by Ish.
No, Ish, bro. Now people are gonna stop watching X-Men '97. Nobody wants 266 now. Ish, what are you doing to this?
Listen. Let me tell you something. No, at last,
X-Men '97 is awesome. I'm gonna disagree entirely. So
I just posted 4 copies of Uncanny 266 out of my personal collection.
Because you don't want it no more.
No. I just wanted to show people that while I do hate Gambit, I'm also not stupid. Don't not invest in something that you can potentially see a return on that investment because you don't.
That book is tank, man. I remember. I mean, you can get a 9.8 on average now, anywhere between 500 to 600. You know,
I mean, I like X-Men Annual 14 better.
Do you? You know what?
It's a better storyline of Gambit.
It's to me, I believe. I mean, come on, he appears 14 pages, 14 panels.
Wait a minute,
he really
comes out in 14 fucking pages, and yet it's considered a cameo.
No,
that's what the whole argument's been about, man.
CGC considers it to be his first appearance.
Well, yeah, now they're labeling 266 as the first full appearance
and first cover appearance. Definitely his first cover appearance.
Just like they are with Wolverine now.
Wolverine,
I'm sorry,
exactly.
Hulk 181. Their first cover and first full appearance, but that is an actual cameo. I mean, he literally just appears in a small panel at the end of.
So let's argue about that. Let's argue about it because I always say this. Like right now, my next grail is Hulk 180. I don't care if I ever own a Hulk 181, and the reason why is because I think the market is going to correct itself in 10, 15 years, and the reason why is because when you say that's just a small panel, right?
It's a small little panel.
It's iconic. It is what people think of when they think of the first appearance of Wolverine. That panel is it's actually half a page, and listen, it's iconic though.
The people that find it iconic, they're out the door already. The guys that actually enjoy Wolverine, they want that first cover, that first full appearance where he's actually doing something, not where he's just like, "Hey, it's Wolverine." That's boring to me. I mean, I get it. I understand the importance of it in history. That's what it is. But if you actually read 180, you're like, okay, it's just a Hulk versus Wendigo issue. But you read 181, all right, now you got three motherfuckers going at it. You got the most iconic cover of all time. Now, what I will tell you, it's probably
one of the most iconic covers of all time.
One of, and it is. I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot here. It's one of the most graded books in CGC senses. Is it hard to find? Fuck no. It's worth a lot because of its value. But I mean, you can find a Hulk 181. I'll throw a rock on IG or Facebook or eBay, and I'm hitting one.
So 180 will catch it, and I'm willing to take you to task on what you said about the people who consider iconic are on its way out the door. Listen, ASM 300 is probably the most graded book.
Oh, it is. It's like top
of the copper age, right?
Yeah,
but that cover is going to stay iconic. Sure. It's just going to stay iconic. That panel from that actual panel where Wolverine first appears is going to stay iconic because it's already it's comic history. It has nothing to do with
Oh.
what young people think or what the next generation thinks. It's gonna stay iconic.
I'll
That's
tell you-
like that's like saying ASM 299 is gonna be ASM 300.
or even more so like ads,
But ASM
like
299 has
Malibu Sun
realistically
for Spawn.
Malibu Sun. Yeah.
So what I think is more realistic, right? Because what we're talking about now, and I don't disagree with you, it's something I've evaluated, I've done whole shows on. What we're talking about now is what the market determines is valuable versus what people determine is valuable.
Yes.
And as time progresses, someone who doesn't care about that is just going to use their common sense. When I open up a book, where's the first time I see Wolverine? What I think the word cameo is going to go the way of the dodo as we progress. And I think that whole word is just going to be like, wait a minute.
Cameo.
Some smart kid in the year 2070 is going to be like, yo, really? I see him. He talks. Uncanny X-Men 282, for example. Bishop's on the cover.
Yeah.
And he's in the book and he talks.
And
why are we calling 283 his first appearance?
Yeah. So
the first time I see him.
You know what? It's like that with ASM 238 also. You get a first appearance of Hobgoblin, but then in the book, you only get a last panel of him. It's literally the same thing. It's Hulk 181 and Hulk 180, but fused
so let's
together.
Look at Punchline, right? I think that was a cameo, a true cameo. You only see her chin.
Of course.
Uncanny X-Men 213. You only see a shadow of Mr. Sinister. X-Men number 15. You only see the shadow of Onslaught. To me, that's what a true cameo is, right? If you actually see the character, the entire character, and they say something, that's not a first appearance.
But please, now it's kind of like because I'm a collector of first appearance, and if Gambit's not, if 266 isn't you're right. I just saw it. It's the first.
You need both. You need both. That's where they get you. You need.
I would kind of need both to just say, well, okay, I either way I'm good. Now this is the thing. So I've been hunting on 181, and yes, as Frank said, you could toss a rock and fucking hit a 181 anywhere.
All day. I mean, I think I have like 4 or 5 posted within like the last week, and I have
shit. They're still fucking not cheap.
Which one?
The 181.
They're not, and they never will be.
And that's the thing, because please make it official that the 180.
So do you think 80 is going to get to 181 though?
I do.
I do. Okay.
What'll happen is people who can't afford a 181 are going to start pushing the demand up of 180 as time passes.
Oh, so it's like we the people demand justice. We can't afford 181.
No, so the demand will increase. Look at, for example, right? I'll give you an actual example. Look at the first appearance of Miss Marvel. The hot book was her appearance in Captain Marvel 14. Now it's her first appearance in Marvel Now .1, which is the better book. It's the more valuable book, but it used to be Captain Marvel 14. It used to be Secret Wars number 8 over ASM 252. And then ASM 252 became the better book. You see what I'm saying? It used to be when Secret Wars number 8 was considered the first appearance of the symbiote, which we now know it's not, because 252 actually released earlier, even though that story takes place afterwards. 252 beat it. 252 is a better book than Secret Wars 8 in high grade. It passed it.
But it's older, and yeah, it's the first.
Well, it's the same year.
Well, it came out 7 months before Secret Wars.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was considered a cameo. And
what was considered a cameo?
I love this.
So 252 had the same. 252 has the same issue that Gambit has, right? 252. So what happened was, and you probably don't know this, Secret Wars was made to promote toys. So none of the writers wanted to
the toy biz.
But all the writers were annoyed. They were made to promote the Secret Wars line of toys. That was the whole reason they did the Secret Wars limited series. But the writers on these books, if you were probably too young when these books came out, there were these convoluted stories because all of their characters had to disappear to go to Secret Wars, to go to the moon and participate in Secret Wars. So you had these really weird stories where, okay, now this issue, my character is just showing back up from Secret Wars, which I didn't really participate in. So what happened was ASM 252 dropped. That story was supposed to take place after Secret Wars. Amazing Uncanny X-Men Annual 14 dropped. It was a story that was supposed to take place after Uncanny X-Men 266. It just didn't take place chronologically. It's after Uncanny 266, but actual release date, it's like 2 months before Uncanny 66. ASM 252. It's actually released before Secret Wars 8 release, even though the story it was supposed to come out afterwards. So that is why, for the longest time, Secret Wars 8 was considered the first appearance of the symbiote suit. Because
it's weird because it was a symbiote suit.
But what about Marvel? What about the Marvel team up?
What about it?
It's same thing. It ties in now.
It's all Secret Wars. It's a Secret Wars tie-in.
It's weird because again, the black suit on Secret Wars was a symbiote alien suit, but on 252 he rocks it as just a regular costume.
No. It was the symbiote.
No,
because it was supposed to happen after.
No, in 252 it was the symbiote. It was just supposed to take place chronologically after Secret Wars 8. The writer was, I'm not waiting for Secret Wars 8. If you can recall, that first suit actually appeared in an issue of Marvel Age. A fan drew it and sent it into Marvel Age.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the actual history behind it. Same with X-Men Annual 14. X-Men Annual 14 chronologically takes place after Uncanny 266. It just released before. So that's the reason why you have that. So what happened was, for years, Secret Wars 8 was considered the first appearance of the symbiote and had the better value. And then 252 got recognized after the fact as the first appearance of the symbiote, and now it has caught it, either equaled it or surpassed it in value.
I tell you what,
I just think because it's an ASM title is always going to be more valuable than I think any other, series featuring Spider-Man. It's just because it's an ASM. It's an iconic, homage cover. So it's always going to be recognized. When you see Secret Wars 8, you're like, okay, yeah, I like it. But again, despite the history on it, also because it came out and was released after ASM, I think ASM 252 is always going to hold its value until, like you said, until somebody drops this knowledge and it's recognized amongst the community as such and such. I just personally think that ASM 252 is always going to be, trumping a Secret Wars number 8.
I tell you what,
for a long time it didn't. For a long
I know,
time.
but I'm saying again, as newer collectors keep emerging and they don't know all that stuff.
But here's the thing on those: they have the covers look like the black suit, right? So back to the
and both
Hulk
are
one.
iconic homage covers.
Yeah.
Both are pretty
So
iconic.
now with the Incredible Hulk though, is 380 worth
180.
remaking. Yeah, sorry, 180. So
What do you
like
mean remaking, like an homage cover?
yeah, like doing a homage cover and all that stuff. So to me, 181's always going to push because that's iconic. That's what's iconic is because
that's what people want to display. That's what you'll invest to get slabbed. Right?
So let me chime in. So I'm with Will. I'm with Willie, and he's basically say buy both. Well, that's what I fucking do. So I have a 252. I have a 252 and an SWA.
Well, so
and that's it.
Because Ish knows probably more than I do when it comes to the Wolverine and all that. So I have a lot of. So you got Wolverine's first appearance in 180.
Wow.
Then you got 181, and then everyone considers 182 to be his third appearance. But there's also your Foom. Is it Foom 8, Foom 10?
The
10. But people actually consider Giant Size to be a second. So there's another.
That's what I'm saying, because that came out what in the summer of 74?
Yeah, summer 75.
75.
Giant Size. It literally says second appearance, right?
Right, but that's what I'm trying to figure out. So where, how does that work? If 181
so Boom was a preview, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So many times, in many cases, they don't consider previews as first appearances.
Right.
Unless you're talking Spider-Man 2099, which case they consider the preview the first appearance.
Isn't a preview? All right. Well, anyways,
or ad. It's almost like an ad as well. I mean,
yeah. It's weird, right? So in some cases, in Spider-Man 2099's case, his preview is considered his first appearance. In most cases, previews, which actually aren't a unique story, but just a couple pages from a story that's going to come out in a book a couple months later, aren't considered first appearances. So
what about ASM 365? First appearance of Spider-Man
that's
2099.
what I was just talking
That's-
about.
yeah.
That's the exception, right? Many people consider that his first appearance. However, when you talk about Wolverine, right? If we're calling 180 a cameo and 181 a first appearance, then the next book in succession would be Giant Size X-Men,
And
which
then
would be his
180.
second appearance,
and
and
then
then 183, and then Foom.
Right.
Foom would be a preview. I like Foom because I'm an X-Men mark, so I have to have Foom 10 because there's value to it. People are assessing value to it. The market likes it, so I like Foom as a preview appearance. I like preview appearances anyway.
Do you own a Foom?
Foom 10? No, not
Okay.
yet.
So
I've been
let's
trying to
talk
find
about let's talk about iconic covers that are not everybody wants, but it's not a key. There
Okay.
you go. All right.
Or how about we talk
Oh,
about
okay. That's
how about we
yeah.
how about we talk about
Dope
Ultimate
cover.
Fallout and how that shit's dropping down?
This is an iconic cover
It's dope.
that is
Not a
iconic.
key.
Awesome.
People love this cover, and it's not a key.
It's not.
It's
The story is kind of mid, anyways.
Thor and Loki appearance, Hulk thing, and Hercules cameo, Tales of the Watcher backup story.
Have you read that book, Caesar?
Yeah, 25 times before I go to fucking bed. So this thing, everybody wants this cover, and how many homages have we seen made of this cover? Right?
A
A lot.
ton.
I can't think of one.
What are we
What?
talking about?
I can't think of one offhand. I'm
Oh,
sure you
there's-
could tell me,
there-
and I'm like, oh wow.
Oh, there's
there it
goes
is in a
Frank.
book.
Frank will find one right now.
Yep, he's gone.
He's gone.
Oh no, boxes.
So
I agree with Wilton. Right now is the time to buy Ultimate Fallout. Period. Listen,
No,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not. Wait till the end of the year, and that shit is $400, bro. Please, 9.8.
there you go.
Mark my word, it
anyone-
will be down about that
and I'm
$600
on it.
range.
Anyone who's out on the
There you go.
first true 21st century grail from mainstream comics, man, stop it. Ultimate Fallout 4 is the first true 21st century grail from mainstream comics. I'm not talking books
I'm not
like
hip.
Walking Dead.
I'm not hip.
It just is.
I'm not hip. It's too modern for my ass.
I'm telling you, that book right there, Ultimate Fallout, it will be $600 by the end of this year, ladies and gentlemen. It is the most. It's more rare to get that book in a 9.2, 9.0 and under than it is a 9.6 and a 9.8.
Why? Is it because the cover's white, black, what?
No, it's not.
It's been well kept. The minute it hit,
It came
was-
polybagged.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
mean that book. I mean, I probably submit for clients at least. I mean, I at least 10 or 12 a month minimum.
Look at the 1 in 25 on that thing though.
Yeah, that I get, but that's still crazy overpriced. Like, I mean, that was just, I get it. I understand people like all these variants. 1 in 25, 1 in 200. I don't know. I don't give a shit about. I'm gonna be honest. I don't care about none of that. People go crazy over it. I understand the craze. It's a cover, dude. Like, they print that on purpose to make a craze in the market, man. It's intended to drive up value of a book. It's
Sure. Well, I don't think it's
it's-
intended to drive up value of a book. It's intended to incentivize retailers to order more copies of the book.
Yeah.
But what happens
That's for
is
sure.
collectors we're a finicky bunch. I actually did a conversation about this when I was explaining to people how to read barcodes and why A covers tend to have more long-term value than any other cover, with the exception of the cover being a key, right? A first appearance on the cover. If the B cover has a first appearance, obviously you want the cover with the first appearance of a character on said cover. But A covers generally tend to outvalue. I mean, if you look at some of these Ultimate Fallout, Ultimate Spider-Man #1, right? The A cover is better than the 1 in 25. It's better than the 1 in 100. Barring that particular ratio variant is a key, right? There's a first appearance on that ratio or what have you, but we can't ignore rarity and the finickiness of collectors, and that's in any type of field where people collect. They're really finicky. And the thing that drives the market on some of those books, not these 1 in 500s of commons, right? But let's say Hulk 181 had a 1 in 25.
That's funny.
You understand what I'm getting at? I don't even have to say anymore. If Hawk 8181 had a 1 in 25, well, back in that time period, how many people are going to buy 25 copies of that book? How many retailers are going to buy 25 copies of that book? Retailers don't buy 100 copies of. If 10 books have a 1 in 100, retailers aren't buying 1,000 books because they can't sell through that.
Right. There's not enough.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't get a return on what they would charge for the 1 in 100. So now we're talking a key book, which Ultimate Fallout 4 is. Because I agree with you 100%, Atlas, about racial variance. I just don't agree when it comes to the rarity on key books. On a book that, has the first appearance of not a minor character, but like a major character. Miles Morales is as major as it comes. He's probably the most iconic major first appearance of the entire 21st century.
And I see that. And again, I can appreciate Miles Morales. I where I'm getting at, I appreciate him because again, it took my kids wanting to go to the movies. They want to see the new, and I love that about that. They're excited to see Gwen, and that's their thing. I think it's cool. I love the movies. I thought they were entertaining, but bro, I'm not gonna go out there and I need a 9.8 UF4. Like,
but do you need an X-23 first appearance?
Actually, yeah, I do. And if you have one, I'll take it.
998s are go nowhere. But
I'm happy with my 8.0 of the X23, and I'm happy with my 9.4 of the UF4.
You shouldn't be happy with your 8.0.
Well, I just got to say for the sake of the show. You said
he got that from me, so great grab, Caesar.
I mean, no hate on that. No hate on that. I gotta keep it real because comics, since people were up in here and they know what I preach. Listen, if it's a modern era book in the grading era, there's no reason to not have a 9.8.
It should be a 9.8, and that's the thing. That's why I get so scared about submitting moderns sometimes, because it's like it truly is. It's like 9.8 or bust, because
it depends on if you're doing it for a client for themselves. Like
you're right.
I think that Nick's number 3 is the best next gen key of the 21st century, based upon all of these factors. Right, rarity, popularity of the character,
low print run,
low print run. Hard to find in high grade because of the way that book was made, and the character.
Okay,
and that's what was. Yeah, go ahead, Caesar.
No, you're right. You're absolutely effing right. If it's a modern book like a UF4 or an X23, a Nix, it should be a 9.
No. The Nix is that's what he's saying right now, is that the Nix, because of the way it was printed, because of the rarity on it, you do want it in high. You want everything in high grade. But UF4, you need it in a 9.8 or 9.6, like, or bust, because there's so many.
You need a UF4 and 9.8 because you're going to lose. You're going to sit on a 9.6.
Yeah, but the thing is,
you're going to sit on a 9.4, 9.2.
I really don't give a shit because I can say I have a Miles in a 9.4. I don't give a shit. The X23 and an 8.0, you're right. That I wouldn't mind having a 9.8, and if anyone has a 9.8, let me know.
I got one for sale, $1,100.
I was about to say you can get that for $1,100.
I got one for you right now.
They know their stuff.
Payment plan.
It's not gonna work.
Payment plan.
You're not gonna get me on my own
show. I'll sell my 8.0 to anybody, and then I'll contribute that to the whatever. We're gonna.
That sounds like a future deal.
You're gonna donate that to the next person who comments in the chat. We love Caesar. Dude,
you're an idiot. It's not gonna happen. So this is it. So we're actually going 15 over, but I did want to bring this up first because as we were talking, I got the Heritage auction results just popped in my phone.
Okay.
Prepare you guys. Like I'm gonna prepare you guys for.
I'm not prepared. Heritage always kills me.
New Mutants, number 100. We all know that cover, right?
Oh, geez, that one. Yeah.
A 9.9 sold for 5,760.
Why?
They bought the grade.
Why?
That's it.
There's one. Why?
Billion copies of that.
Why? Why? Because there's only one copy graded.
Yes.
9.9 known to exist.
Yeah, they bought the grade.
I don't give a
Same with
Fuck.
that New Mutants 98, right? There's 199. That 199 always is going to suppress everything else, but there's value in 98 because there's only one.
For
Now,
what book again? All right, what
New
was
Mutants
it?
98.
New Mutants
It's
98.
a
Oh, yeah, bro,
million
that-
New Mutants
yeah.
98s. It's not
Okay.
rare.
Here's another
Yeah.
one. Ready? Now I'm going with more modern because there's a lot of PCH in this list. A lot of those. Batman: The Killing Joke. First print, we all know it, right? The number one.
Mm-hmm.
10.0.
Oh,
What?
Mhm.
Whoa.
I'd enjoy having that book in my collection.
A
me too.
10-0.
10-0.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, but
10.0 sold. Now,
Mhm.
before I tell you the price, there are 14 copies graded at a 10.0.
Oh, so
okay.
14? Oh yeah, because of the hardcover.
Okay.
I mean, not the hardcover, but
The way the stock, right?
graphic. Yeah, the stock.
Okay. How much? Let's play the game. How much for
I'll give you-
10.0 Killing Joke?
I wouldn't spend more than 2K on that book. in
Yep,
my
I
Okay.
agree with
opinion,
him.
10K.
What do you say?
I agree.
Okay,
I wouldn't spend
James?
more than 2K. Now
I-
that you tell me there's 14.
Mhm.
Well, yeah. I mean, I probably
that book in a
20
9.8 is a $200 book, I think, in a 9.8.
So what do you say, James?
I would take the over. So I think I would do 25.
Yeah, 28,000.
What? I'm out of here, bro. I quit.
There's
Wait a minute,
14 of that
28,000?
book.
Thousand?
$288,000 in value in those 14 books.
$28,000, people.
Over 300. Over 300.
Okay,
value.
so
Stop, man.
remember that whole conversation about manipulating the market?
That's
I
what it
swear,
is,
like
yeah.
people are going in there just manipulating these 9s and 10s. This is stupid.
All right.
It's not a bad idea because you pay your homeboy. Yeah, you might have to buy the buyer's fee, but now all of a sudden, this book that you probably bought for like $100, you might have put like another $400 or $500 in buyer's fee, whatever taxes. But now you can turn back and charge somebody in the future $28,000. So you're probably right, James. I call bullshit.
Yeah,
I call
because the
bullshit.
problem is what you now have, and I'm sorry, I have to say it. 14 10-0s makes that book common in 10-0.
Yes.
That's a common 14 when something is unheard of. You have 14.
Now-
Now you're talking
now,
a
then
That's
common
like the
10-0
last
for that
Ronin
book.
one. That's like
Now,
last
now
Ronin.
what I will say, just one more. What I will say about that Killing Joke, it is. I mean, it's common to get in a 9.8, but we
it's
all know
hard.
that book, it's glue bound, which is really hard.
Yeah.
It's square bound, which is hard to get in that grade, but it is common to find them in a 9.8. I will say that, but I am impressed that I got a 10.0. I see a lot of 9.8s that then should be 10.0s nowadays.
You
I
got
have
a 10-0?
I'm sorry.
You got a 10-0?
Fuck no.
I have a raw one, which hard for me to say that it's not pretty fucking pristine. I'm just saying. Now we're gonna get stupid, people.
All right.
Now we're gonna get stupid.
It's already there,
Been
but
there.
We're already there. X-Men, Uncanny X-Men number 24. The
Stop
first
it, man.
appearance and origin of the Locust.
Stop it.
All right.
Stop it.
And for those who don't know which the cover is,
20
it's the
bucks.
one where it's the one with right there. I don't know if you see it, but it's
Stop
Locust,
it.
right? All right. Here we go, people. 9.8.
Whoa, that is tough.
Because it's a red cover. Not easy.
Yep.
16K.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
No.
yeah, I like you,
no.
Ish, because nope.
No.
No, I can see it. Listen,
No.
I can
Nope.
see it. I
Nah.
can see it. It's a Silver Age X-Men it's an early X-Men book.
It's
I
a
can see it.
common book that covers one of the listen. There's a reason why those X-Men went to reprint. There's a reason why of the big 5 Marvel books that
They
dropped in
couldn't-
the 60s, that Fantastic Four ain't go to reprints.
I told you because the X-Men story sucked, dude.
They
You didn't
sucked. I'm
They
not.
didn't-
No. They sucked until Claremont, right?
Well, yeah.
Until the Phoenix showed up.
So
Yeah.
if you're talking any X-Men book that's not 1 through 14, first appearance of Eunice, first appearance of Scarlet Witch, first Kazar, first Juggernaut, those, if you're talking any of those books, right? That's it. Everything else
First Sentinels.
is
Sentinels.
junk. It's
Mhm.
just junk. It's just okay. Listen, I'm not paying.
You got to reprint.
The only thing that's dope about it is it's a 9.8.
I mean,
other
that's
than
what
that,
that's what I'm talking about, though, man. I mean,
To have a
it's,
9A from 1966.
I mean, that's
is pretty-
tough, bro.
pretty good.
That's tough, bro. I mean, I understand it, but that's tough, man. I mean,
All right.
that's tough to get that book in a
Let's
9.8.
move
all
on.
right, I
Let's-
agree.
I see
First
it.
Havoc.
I
got
see
it.
it.
You're right. You're right.
I
First
would
Havoc.
I would pay 16K for that 9.8 over fucking 28,000 for the 10.0 killing joke all day.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Will, I
Okay.
agree with you on that.
Yeah.
On that first Havoc.
First
You're
let's,
right.
let's move on to the next book. Ready? Here we go. Strange Tales, 110.
Okay.
First, Doctor Strange. We all know the
Mhm.
cover, which
Mhm.
people
It's-
hate that cover
It's
because
trash. It's
it's
trash.
trash cover. It's on my list.
100 grand.
It's on my list.
You just went, you just went
just
straight to
fuck
100.
it. Just go.
9.6.
Oh,
Now there are 7 copies graded 9.6, none higher.
50K.
150K.
Oh, suck it. Suck it.
just
Okay.
add the 2 damn. I am fucking believe. Are you kidding?
I mean,
Batman
look,
2.
so
Batman
I'll tell you,
244.
a 6.0 of that book sells around $4,300. The Strange Tales 110. So
Yeah, no.
I can see that you already double it.
Yeah.
You know. Anyways,
I agree. And the
It-
reason
it-
why there could be 10 9.6s
Yeah.
of that book.
but it is a major. It's a major first.
All right, here we-
And
here's
it's-
the
And
other
you're not
one.
gonna find a lot of them. You're just not.
I'm gonna try to
in high
blow by
grade.
this, or else we'll be on here for 12 hours. Batman 244, the iconic Ra's al Ghul, where he's holding the outfit of Batman and Batman's on the ground.
Oh yeah, all fucked up. Yeah,
Okay.
Neil Adams cover.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
9.8.
Oof. I'm out on this one. I can't even take it.
1972. Batman 244, 9.8 sold for
$3 grand.
8,400.
Oh, good for it. I mean, that
Right?
that was kind of lackluster on that one.
Well,
I
well,
think that's
let's-
$5,000 too much.
I probably would have donated that book as a giveaway.
All right, I'll tell you another one. Here we go. Daredevil 181.
Okay.
That's another that book sucks
That
too.
shouldn't. Yeah.
Right?
Unless it's 9.9.
It's a 9.9.
Okay.
I'm giving you 2K for it tops.
There are 6 copies graded 9.9, none higher.
You're getting 2K for me, and
We
be
all know
happy.
the cover. Very hard yellow cover to keep. I mean, you
It's
should know,
not.
Frank.
It's
10
super common. That book sucks.
10,200.
Yeah.
Someone
Come on.
dropped
10,000.
10K.
Wow.
Can we talk about these bronze, copper, and silvers that are starting to pop up at 9.9s?
Yeah. I mean, well, let me tell you, it should have been like that this whole time. And I know you're gonna hate me for saying it, but what's the point of having a 10.0 grade if no one's gonna get it? I mean, I think it should have always been a 9.8 should have been a 10, and 9.8 should have always been a 9.6. And I think that's where CGC's been failing. It's like, I have a perfect book and someone bust out, a metal cover, whatever, and that's also perfect. Why did they get the 10? My book didn't get a 10 because it's not a metal fucking cover or some shit,
They better have some fucking triple, quadruple check on these books to make sure they are exactly what they say they are, and not just one guy going, "Oh, it's a 10." All right, here we go, guys. We're gonna wind down because I got to leave very soon. And this was an
What?
interesting one. Well, yeah, because we normally go 2 hours. We're going a bit extra here. My
Bro,
wife's gonna
this-
kill me. Here we go.
We always go extra.
Here
I'm
we
about to say,
go.
Go harder.
Avengers #1.
Oof, here
Okay.
we go. Here we go.
If
All
you
right.
say 9.9, I quit.
Hey,
Yeah.
James, you still got the Avengers that I hooked you up with still?
Yeah, he said
That
it.
was amazing, but no, I just sold it
He just said
Nice.
it.
because because I'm trading up.
All right, fair enough.
Let's so 9.6.
Okay.
Wow, I'm not trading up that high.
I'm
200K.
How much? Ish?
200K.
All right, what about
200?
you guys? 200? What do you
No,
No.
about 170.
I'm gonna give you about 250.
Let me just tell you, in 2021, it sold for 369,000.
Oh,
Wow.
So I'm gonna give you 250.
432,200.
How much?
432.
How many in 9.6?
so go ahead.
No, they don't give me that information. Oh,
That's the
there-
only
hold on,
9.6.
hold on. There exists 5 copies graded at 9.6.
Damn.
I
See,
think that's-
if you
I
would
think
have told me
that's a
that,
lot.
I probably would have gone up.
So with
would've
the
gone up.
market on the downturn and these heritage auctions going bazonkers. What the hell is a collector supposed to think? You know?
Invest in the high grades, man.
Invest the blue chip. That's the blue chip high grade. Here we go. Fantastic
No,
Four.
not
Yes, Rip.
always. I mean, look
Hold
at all
on.
those guys. Okay.
So the thing is, right, a book like that selling for that, and there's so many 9.6s, that definitely, and obviously, you know, you speak to blue chip and you speak to Silver Age blue chip and what have you, right? That definitely cements value in things like 7.5s and 8.0s and like, so the buy-in, right, for value on a giant size X-Men #1 is 7.5, and it's been 7.5 since like 2018, right? Like you actually see value if you own at least a 7.5. So when you look at an Avengers #1, you know, I remember I used to not corner the market, but I used to buy every Journey into Mystery that was graded 2 or lower. I would just take them off eBay because they were
they're quick flips though.
Yeah, quick flips, right?
They're
Really quick
affordable,
flips.
right? Yeah.
There's only 2 pages of Journey into Mystery 83, and half of them are golden record reprints. So every time I saw a 0.5 or a no grade or a 1 or a 10, I would just buy it and then turn around and resell it. This is early 2000s. Because the value on that, what's that? I think the highest grade is what, a 9.4. That, when you talk about a book that's so rare in grade, it makes 8.0s premium values. It makes your 8.5, your 7.5 a premium value. I'm sorry, go ahead. See, I know you want to.
No. It's fine. It's just that we can, like I said, I'm just scanning through these, but there's a lot of books. We might save this for the next show, but I'm gonna save one last
Record
one here.
breakers.
One last one. Fantastic Four, 49.
Okay. Before you say anything, you got to let us know.
First
49, first full Galactus,
Yep.
second appearance of Silver Surfer. You got to let us know what the grade is and how many are available.
According to this, I do not have how many available, but it's a 9.6.
Ooh,
Wow.
that is tough.
That's a nice book.
That's impressive.
And a difficult book at that grade.
It's hard because there's so many key like I can't imagine it going for like a better than a #5 or a #4 in the same grade, right?
9.6 sold for a nice, cool 20,400.
I think that's low.
I was gonna say that felt kind of low, but I see it. I mean, again, I see it.
I will throw you
buy that book, guys.
I will throw you guys a
book worth 300,000.
So the problem is, right? The problem is, and it's something that I always tell people in my community, we always kick it. We always try to give each other information. The problem is, it's the first Galactus. Everyone knows who he is. He's a dope character. First appearances of heroes are always going to be better than first appearances of villains, especially a villain like Galactus.
Mine is Dr. Doom, though.
Right, mine is Doom. Right. And the reason why, though, because Galactus is a character that you just he can't pop up every issue.
No.
That hero can get his own book.
He's also really like unrelatable, meaning like he's unearthly. He's not and we can save this for another talk, but he's
Eternals.
I'm gonna cut it off and do 2 more, and we're gonna reduce the talk because I really gotta go.
Okay.
Toss 39, first appearance of Iron Man.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I don't have any.
This
is a 9.8.
Oh my god!
I thought one went for 800K.
There is only one 9.8 of Iron Man's introduction known to exist. Okay, there's only another one 9.8.
I'm out. I can't even guess.
It was like 800K.
840,000.
Yeah, I saw that. It was like 800K.
8.0, 32 grand, 7.0, 24,000, and a nice 1.0 sold for 4,500.
That's insane, dude.
Last one I'm going to talk about is Daredevil.
Okay.
9.8.
#1.
I'm gonna give you
Daredevil #1. Yeah.
I'm gonna give you 2. No, I was wrong last time. Nah, because he's believe it or not, he's probably the most affordable first appearance of
he's
a character.
The most underrated. That book is
underrated.
One of the most underrated first appearance. Big.
I'm gonna get
around.
You said a 9.8 or 9.6?
9.8.
300K.
I'm gonna give you either 180 to 200 for it.
I'm gonna say 300.
James,
I'm waiting for the number. I'm out.
You know what? Believe it or not, Ish is close. 360. 360. Right. Now, 7.0, 69, 5.5, 45, 5.0, 43, and the 3.5 at a nice measly 2583, which
I was gonna say 2,500.
I have a 3.0, so I guess I missed the mark. So
Rated.
there's so many here. Like I said, there's so many.
That was hard.
There's a lot of Batmans. There's a lot of Golden Age. Even an ASM 100 9.8 sold for $6,600
That's it.
for 9.8
Yeah,
ASM
that book
100.
sucks.
That's it. Yeah,
It's
but still,
yeah,
dude,
but
it's
with
an
the square
early-
bound, that's really hard to get that.
No. ASM 100 is not square bound.
It is.
No,
Yeah, it
ASM
is.
100.
Yeah, it is.
the one with he's crawling on the.
The
Yeah.
poster.
It's
The
just not as
poster?
thick as say a giant size, but it
Yeah.
is. It is.
Yeah, it's this
Oh,
one.
okay.
It's this one right here. Well,
Yeah, it's-
Yeah, no, I know ASM 100. I didn't realize it was a
Just-
square bound.
most of them get flattened, but no, it's supposed to be square bound.
I did not know.
So, okay, guys, we went 30 over. We tried to
on.
keep it at 2 hours, but because whenever we get into lists, I guarantee you guys, one of these shows, I'm gonna bust out. It's always fun. I'm gonna bust out my old wizard, the oldest one I have, and we're gonna go through the very back,
Number one.
and we're gonna go back to the very back and see how much a book cost in 1990, how much it was. It's kind of fun to look at the big keys and how much they were back in those times. A little bit of a time
1990, you
capsule.
can get Fantastic Four #1 for under $2,000.
Can you believe that shit? That's crazy. That's fucking
Yep,
outrageous.
but my 1990 person was, or the kid in me was like, yeah, that's a shit ton of money, and I ain't spending that on a book.
Imagine.
See, James, if you would not have been buying cars and hookers that whole time, bro, you would have.
I told you
Yeah.
to keep that in the deal. What the
Oh, you son of a bitch! You just let
I
it
thought
all
you were
out.
a
Listen,
friend.
I want to, first of all, I'm going to give you guys all a little chance to plug yourselves. But one, I do want to thank Jordy,
Yes.
Marbled Comics, to jump in, give us a lowdown on the whole Ashkay thing. He promises he's going. He promises he's going to give us an update. So make sure you follow Marbled Comics. He does phenomenal sales, and I do mean
They're awesome.
fire. I've been looking for an ASM2 to complete my Sinister Six, and he always has one. I'm just like, fuck. I just can't. I can't unless he does a payment plan that lasts a James payment plan for me. James, buy yourself an ASM2, please, so I can
I should, just for
Take-
you.
just for me, please. So that being said, let's go ahead and we're gonna have you guys promote one of yourself. Let's go. We're gonna start with Frank. And
Look
your
at
ass.
that butt. All right. Woo.
Frank, promote yourself. Where can we find you and all that good stuff?
You can find me on IG, baby, at Last
Oh.
Comics.
Wait a minute. Are you selling that?
Yeah, 4.0 white pager.
What is that, a consignment?
No, I'm just kidding. This was sold on payment plan.
You asshole. All right. Where else? So just at
Um,
last? I'm not gonna let you plug yourself. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck me.
Okay. At last, find him on IG. He does hosts. He has a bunch of new hosts now to almost 7 days a week, and he's a good dude, man. Just follow that guy.
Thank you. And you know who does all my reels, right?
You know who does all his reels? Ish.
I don't.
That guy
That
Caesar.
guy.
He wears glasses and doesn't know how to read.
No,
That guy.
but I could tell. I could do some voices.
He's got the steals. He's got the deals.
See, he already knows. He might have the steals, and he might have the deals.
Yeah, why didn't you tell me you do reels, Caesar?
What? I do.
You holding out on me, bro.
I do a lot. I do.
I
All the
thought we
ones.
was peoples, man.
Bro.
We-
See
we'll
what's
talk.
happening at the end of this.
James, where can we find you, my man?
Comic Uprising, as it says in the tag right there, Instagram. And yeah, I just really, really, truly do care about bringing positivity to the platform and the community. That's really all that is. I do sell, but I have fun doing that. I don't really make a lot of money at it. So,
Guys, iron sells low, baby.
yeah,
It's a
so
good
but
time,
it's been an honor to be on this thing again. Ish, you know so much about books. That's so cool.
Dude,
Thank you.
I want to
About
do
to make
another
me
one
blush,
with Ish
bro.
again,
No,
bro.
Ish is Ish is the Ish for me.
Yeah,
is.
so
He's my Ish.
thank you guys.
Yeah, you got it, man. Okay, Ish, go ahead and plug yourself, my man.
All right. So first of all, I just want to say I'm always honored to be on a platform. Really love hanging out with the people tonight in particular. It was really, really dope. Really dope. Really great meeting y'all at last, James. Like really dope. Really enjoyed myself. So then let me just say this real quick. Yo, shout out to the community. Y'all know what time it is. Make sure that you are following the Comic Menu podcast. Caesar, D. Morales, Del Guzman. Make sure y'all do that. Go ahead, press the button. Check out James Comic Uprising. Check out Atlas Comics on Instagram. Y'all know who I am, and if you don't, I'm about to tell you. I am Issue X, owner, CEO of Comic Sense LLC, COMIXSENSE on Facebook. We got a page, we got a group, we're on YouTube. Go find all of those. Join us. Follow me on Instagram at ISHUE.X. Follow Comics on Instagram. You know what time it is? Pieces.
Yeah, there we go. Thanks, man.
Damn,
then,
you're good.
Then for me, you know to find me every Wednesday, me and Dell, the Culinary Comics. We have a show next week. I forgot who we have on, but there we go. You can find me on Instagram as the Real Dracula's Wolf. Yes, if you do want your reels done, either promote your business, promote your live sales. I can do all that. If you want a certain voice, I can do that as well. If you want the movie voice, I can do that.
I'm gonna get with Caesar and find all of y'all so I can follow you on Instagram.
Oh
yeah, I was about to say, man. Caesar, if you can send me Ish, man. I'm gonna have to wrap up with Ish one more time, man.
No.
Yeah, for sure.
We're gonna do it. And like I said, we're gonna have some fun coming up in a couple shows. We have next we already booked up for May. We have Joe Doyle, we have Kyle Willis, we have James, we have Greg Haw.
Joe Doyle from A Doyle Rules.
So we're gonna
have he gets that all the time.
we just booked. We're gonna have announced. We're gonna have Code Blue and Crime City Comics back again to talk about the golden age of comics and
Florida boys
and those mother effers. They're having a museum. Ish, if you want to start getting to PCH books, you got to join that show. Watch that show because they're
those
pre-code horror.
Oh, those guys, those guys are animals. They have
they were in the beginning of the show this year, and I told them, you know what, more and more people are buying Golden Age. I think it's a good time for them to come back. We're also going to be doing a show strictly on video games, nostalgia, all platforms, NES, all
TurboGrafx 16.
We got Greg, everything. TurboGrafx 16.
Hold on. So I just want to tell you, and this is legit, this is serious. I have a guy in the community. His name is Patrick Hickey Jr. He owns Legacy Comics. This is what he does. He actually writes. He writes video game books on video games. I'll hook you up with him. He owns Legacy Comics. He's a creator. But if you see his house, he's got every system ever made.
Well,
in all of this is what he does. And he's actually published. He's wrote like 7 books covering what you're talking about. So I'll link you up because you might want to have him come on.
Hey,
and he also does what you do. He does voiceover for a living.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
So yeah.
So I tell you what, because we're also doing a toy show as well. So we're talking about nostalgic toys and all that stuff. So we're kind of branching out with artists and different kind of venues and everything. But thank you guys all for joining. Ish, yeah, we'll get together. I mean, we'll do some voiceovers for your stuff if you need. But yeah, man. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. Great time, great talk. We'll see you next week. See ya. Peace.
What's up? You guys don't get